Chapter 1204. In the space battlefield, Fang Ping and Zhang Tao were facing attacks from all directions. Fang Ping was no longer a sitting duck. He walked out of his hiding place. The other side, Zhang Tao restrained his aura and controlled it to not overflow, but his face was slightly pale. He had been seriously injured when he broke the sea-suppressing messenger's seal. "Kid, hide yourself well," Zhang Tao murmured in his heart as he scanned the surroundings vigilantly. Being surrounded and killed was actually within his expectations. This fake sky grave was a trap set up by the human race. On the first day he entered, Zhang Tao had thought that one day he would be surrounded and killed by everyone. This day did not come early. Fang Ping was only the catalyst. Like Fang Ping, Zhang Tao had never thought of sitting still and waiting for death. At that time, he did not even have the combat strength of a heavenly king, so he had never thought of waiting for death. Right now, he was a heavenly king stage powerhouse after all, so he wouldn't just wait for death. Oldly was trapped, but they also trapped the most powerful King Kuan and the guardian CC Zhang Tao calculated in his mind. Qian, Sun, Zhen, Heaven Pole, Moon Spirit, Sky Chief, and Hongyu. For out of the seven, their attitudes are unclear. Celestial, Moon Spirit, Zhang Tao muttered in his heart again. King Qian was here for the 9 Emperor Seals, King Sun, and the others were here to kill their enemies, and Moon Spirit, and the others didn't seem to be here for the 9 Emperor Seals, but they still wanted to get involved. And Hongyu, this fellow is the most complicated. I don't know why he's here. King Qian. I wonder if King Qian can be handed over to unquestionable. If heaven's fate, and the others don't make a move, Fang Ping, and I might be able to deal with King Sun and King Zhen. There's also Feng's clone. Where did that old fellow, the God Creation Envoy, go? Zhang Tao felt a headache coming on and became even more cautious. The current situation was not the worst, but it was not good either. Soon, Zhang Tao made his decision. In the next moment, he tore through the sky and left. The moment he left, King Qian's speed was extremely fast. In just a blink of an eye, he arrived at this place. Zhang Tao had already disappeared, but he had left some traces behind. You can't run. King Wu, hand over the 9 Emperor Seals, and this king will no longer meddle in your affairs. Zhang Tao, who had already escaped, ignored him. The 9 Emperor Seals were destined to be lost this time. They had to be given away. It was definitely not for King Qian. Zhang Tao had already made up his mind. With the current state of the human race, they would be courting death if they still wanted to obtain the 9 Emperor Seals. The 9 Emperor Seals could be given, but not to those who were too strong. Once the 9 Emperor Seals were given to the powerhouse, Fang Ping would be in big trouble. Fang Ping, who had 9 saint tokens in his hands, would soon become the hunting target of the powerhouse who had the 9 Emperor Seals. Zhang Tao was very clear about this point. King Kuan, the Sea Guardian, King Qian, Li Zhu, these experts who had broken through to the 7th level could forget about obtaining the 9 Emperor Seals. Celestial Pole is the most suitable candidate. I'm just afraid that he won't dare to accept it. Moon Spirit. Moon Spirit is hard to say. I don't know what that woman is planning. Could it be that Tian Chief? As Zhang Tao fled, he thought about other matters. Perhaps giving Tian Kuei, the leader of the 36 sages, was the most suitable choice. Tian Kuei might not have broken past 7. Even if he did, Tian Kuei was so low-key that it made people's hair stand on end. He might not continue to attack, but it was more likely that he would leave immediately. Moreover, Tian Kuei doesn't have the Heavenly King's seal. Now that he has the 9 Emperor's seal, if we let him go, he might go to the catacombs to deal with the 9 saints, and seize the Heavenly King's seal and saint's token. Zhang Tao thought to himself. His speed was extremely fast, and he continued to break through the air. Behind him, King Qian had already caught up quickly. At this moment, there were powerhouses' qi dynamics rising in all directions. On the other side, Zhang Tao's qi dynamics had also attracted everyone's attention. The powerhouses rushed over there one after another. As for Fang Ping, he also began to move at this moment. Without tearing the space apart, Fang Ping lightly tapped the void, moving tens of li with one step. His speed was also extremely fast. He did not go to Zhang Tao, nor did he go to those heavenly king powerhouses. The current him still did not have the capital to negotiate with them. He wanted to go out and save people. While saving people, he would kill strong enemies. The 2 catacombs kings and the 3 sages of the divine sect had all gone out. He wanted to go out too, kill them and seize the saint tokens. There were also Heavenly Emperor Wuya and the others. Previously, Fang Ping did not want to offend them, but now he had to hand over the saint tokens. He had to choose the lesser of 2 evils. Fang Ping must obtain enough saint tokens to once again increase his foundation, truly completing the 6th level and possessing the combat strength of a heavenly king. When that time came, he would have a greater right to speak. Old Zhang can hold on by himself. Fang Ping glanced at the light pillar that streaked across the void from the corner of his eyes. He could not provide support, so old Zhang could only rely on himself. Fang Ping also did not know how long he could hold on. At the border between the space battlefield and Spirit Emperor Dojo, at this moment, 2 heavenly king seals were guarding the void. Li Zhu and King Zhen were guarding this place and did not leave. Li Zhu stood in the void and said indifferently, Fang Ping must want to leave the space battlefield to support the human powerhouses. Guard here, and do not give him a chance to leave. King Zhen frowned slightly. Where is unquestionable Jian? He is still in the space battlefield. He encountered unquestionable Jian. I will stop him. Li Zhu said in a low voice, don't be too afraid of unquestionable Jian. What's left of him is actually just a shell. Previously, he was able to kill Heaven Doqian because of the timing and location. Unquestionable Jian cannot fight for long. You are all ancient heavenly kings. If you encounter him, you only need to delay him for a while, and unquestionable Jian will not be able to fight anymore. As he spoke, the space in the distance fluctuated, and unquestionable Jian walked in the void. Li Zhu looked at him and chuckled. He is already a dead man. Why must he get involved? Unquestionable Jian remained silent. You came here to restrain us and give Fang Ping a chance to leave? Li Zhu smiled. Are you sure you want to do this? Unquestionable Jian looked at him and said coldly, you have no right to interfere with what I want to do. You killed Heaven Doqian. Feng will not let this matter rest. At this moment, a figure appeared with a person in his hand. Feng appeared. The moment he appeared, Feng did not say anything. The person in his hand raised his head slowly and looked at unquestionable Jian with a complicated gaze. Unquestionable Jian was unmoved. Unquestionable Jian, the person that Feng brought here, broke free from Feng. With a complicated gaze, he said softly, leave. You should not interfere with the human race's affairs. They are involved in too many things. Master, unquestionable Jian looked at Gong Yuzi and said slowly, I will never forget the kindness of raising and teaching you. However, I must avenge my wife's death. Unquestionable Jian. Gong Yuzi's gaze became even more complicated. What happened back then was an accident. You are also a member of the Fengtian bloodline. I am the successor of the Fengtian bloodline. What happened back then was really an accident. No one wanted it to happen. Celestial Emperor Feng is my master and also your grandmaster. Hongyu, who taught you sword techniques back then, was also entrusted by your grandmaster to teach you sword techniques. Heaven Doqian is your grandmaster. You have already killed Heaven Doqian. Unquestionable Jian, don't repeat your mistakes. Mistakes? Unquestionable Jian's gaze was cold. What mistakes did I make? Master, I know a thing or two about what happened back then. Replacing Gong Yuzi as the only person in the era of sex, Unquestionable Jian is a martial artist. Since he is a martial artist, he should fight. That's right. As for deceiving the cat, it is not impossible for martial artists to use some tricks to become stronger. However, why at the cost of one Er's death? That day, one died in my arms, her origin extinguished. Do you know what Unquestionable Jian was thinking? Before Gong Yuzi could speak, Feng said indifferently, "You killed your Taoist companion with your own hands." Unquestionable Jian, you don't have to blame others for everything when you have cultivated to this level. That day, you went crazy and killed your Taoist companion. This matter was not orchestrated by others. Unquestionable Jian's eyes dimmed. He said self-deprecatingly, "That's right, I killed Oner with my own hands." Then he said sternly, "But it was really not you who schemed against me. That day, a strong enemy attacked. I wanted to kill the enemy, but Oner stood in front of me. Why? Do you really think I don't know? Oner was also your chess piece. From the beginning to the end, it was all fake. My master is fake. He is the successor that you appointed. My lover is fake. She is also a member of the Fengtian bloodline. Do you dare to say that Er's death was not orchestrated by you? I saw through it a long time ago, but I thought that Er was innocent. How could a weak woman control her own fate when the world was in chaos? Your mistake is that you shouldn't have sent Er to her death by my sword. You think that's the only way to force me to look for the ash cat so that I can obtain even greater benefits and seize even more opportunities. You didn't know that from that day onwards. Your scheme had already gone wrong. I will never be with you." Unquestionable Jian, Gong Yuzi persuaded. Er's death was really an accident. Now that master has come out. If you return to the Fengtian bloodline, Master might have a way to reunite your spiritual consciousness and let you live again. Now, you are neither human nor ghost. Unquestionable Jian, are you really going to give up on thousands of years of hard work? Unquestionable Jian looked at him for a long time. After a long time, he smiled. "Master, this is the last time I call you Master. When I betrayed Purple Cap Mountain, I was actually no longer a disciple of Purple Cap Mountain, much less a disciple of the Fengtian bloodline." Feng's voice was indifferent. "Do you know that your strength comes from the Fengtian bloodline? Back then, if it weren't for the Fengtian bloodline, could you have really risen to power? Could you have defeated North Sea and become the peerless genius of that generation? Hong Yu taught you the heaven-punishing sword art. Do you know how much I've paid for it? And now you've killed Doqian. You've used everything you've learned in the heaven-sealing faction to kill your elder uncle, Unquestionable Jian. Is this what you mean by all your troubles end?" Feng laughed and shook his head. "I've been spurned by the experts of the three realms, but even when I left my sect during the early years of the martial era, I never attacked my fellow disciples. You, Unquestionable Jian, are truly worthy of being the Demon Emperor. There are many experts who have betrayed their sects, but you're the first to betray and attack a fellow disciple." Li Zhu smiled. "Demon Emperor, Heavenly King Feng has already said so. Are you still going to act willfully? Before you are your master and grandmaster. Isn't it enough that you've killed your uncle, Master? Are you going to kill them too?" Unquestionable Jian looked at the two of them, speechless for a long time. Finally, he closed his eyes and said slowly, "Gong Yuzi, move aside." He didn't acknowledge Grandmaster. However, Gong Yuzi had taught him for 200 years. For those 200 years, Gong Yuzi had treated him like his own son. Even if there were schemes or other factors, this debt could not be forgotten. Unquestionable Jian. Gong Yuzi said mournfully, "Do you really want to do this? Now that you're strong and you've joined forces with your grandmaster, the Fengtian bloodline will fear no one in the three realms. Is this what you want to see?" Unquestionable Jian, stop. Feng's clone did not speak. He looked at Unquestionable Jian without saying a word. Unquestionable Jian chuckled. "Gong Yuzi, I owe you, but I don't owe him. I'll say it one last time. Move aside." Unquestionable Jian, move aside. Unquestionable Jian's sword chi surged, the void trembled. At this moment, Unquestionable Jian's eyes were ice cold as he looked at Feng and said coldly, "I know how to play with people's hearts too. You made Gong Yuzi block the way. Do you think that this seat doesn't dare to kill people? Trash, you have strength for nothing. Why don't you dare to come here personally? Since you insist that I'm a traitor, then you might as well come and kill me personally." Feng looked at him. After a while, he smiled and said, "You've also schemed for many years. Why must you oppose me at this moment? The current you, your physical body is starting to decay. Your spiritual consciousness is all but gone. After some time, you might completely dissipate from this world. If you're willing to return, this seat will help you gather spiritual consciousness and solidify your foundation. At that time, you'll still be the powerful, unquestionable Jian, and not someone who's about to die, who's nothing. The fruits of your hard work for thousands of years, scheming your entire life. Are you really willing to let a so-called reincarnation benefit? What a joke. Reaching our realm, the living is ourselves. The dead, no matter how they reincarnate, they're no longer themselves. There's only one in heaven and earth. This is the Tao. This is the true self." At Feng's realm, he had already seen through some things. In this world, what reincarnation, what clone, those were all external things. Only me, only one. Experts only lived as themselves. If they lived as someone else, they would be someone else. Both sides were at daggers drawn. King Zhen and King Sun looked at each other and didn't interfere. Unquestionable Jian wasn't easy to deal with. It would be better if the Fengtian lineage could solve this problem internally. Moreover, there was actually no benefit in killing Unquestionable Jian. Unquestionable Jian's physical body had already started to decay. If he didn't return, he would completely disappear from this world. Unquestionable Jian would no longer exist in the three realms. Since that was the case, there was no need to fight to the death with him. Even Li Zhu wasn't willing to fight to the death with Unquestionable Jian in his current state. It was truly meaningless. If he lost, he might lose his life. If he won, there was no benefit at all. Wang. A sword ray exploded. In the next moment, Gong Yuzi soared into the sky. Below his cheek, a bloody mark appeared. A shocking sword chi streaked across his face, but it stopped in the end. Gong Yuzi's face was filled with sorrow. Unquestionable Jian, Master can't stop you, but the one you want to make an enemy out of is your master's sect, your master's master. If that's the case, if you want to make a move, you'll have to kill Master. Unquestionable Jian's expression was cold. Gong Yuzi didn't make him his enemy, but he blocked him with all his might. If he wanted to kill someone, he had to kill him first. Gong Yuzi. Unquestionable Jian's expression was as cold as snow. You want to stop me? If you kill Master, you can do whatever you want from now on. In the dark, Fang Ping was helpless. What a bitter drama. It would be difficult for anyone to handle this matter. On one side was his master, who had raised him for hundreds of years. On the other side was his enemy who had schemed against him all his life, manipulated his life, and killed his wife. Yet, in the end, they were still a family. Fong Ping wasn't surprised that Gong Yuzi was from the Fengtian lineage. When the Fengtian lineage appeared, Fong Ping had already guessed it. But now, it was indeed difficult. Unquestionable Jian couldn't make a move now. Fong Ping couldn't make a move either. Gong Yuzi had fought for humans before. Not only that, he had even invested in old Zhang back then. Although it might not have been out of good intentions. Until now, Gong Yuzi had never said he was an enemy of humans. He was blocking his own disciple. What could outsiders say? His junior warlord was one of the pillars of humanity. He was also inextricably linked to humans. As for whether warlord was from the Fengtian lineage, Fong Ping couldn't be bothered. Warlord and Gong Yuzi didn't seem to have the same master. Fong Ping wasn't sure about the specific situation. Gong Yuzi was probably the only one who knew about Purple Cap Mountain's situation. Fong Ping didn't dare to stare at them. The border between the space battlefield and Spirit Emperor Dojo was only so big. With so many heavenly kings sealing off the area, it would be difficult for him to escape. Initially, when unquestionable Jian appeared, Fong Ping thought that his chance had arrived. But now, unquestionable Jian himself was in trouble. Fong, what a scheme! Fong Ping was helpless. Just Gong Yuzi alone was enough to hold unquestionable Jian back. The humans had lost a great help in an instant. I'm lacking something to break the stalemate. 9 Emperor Seals. I still have to make 9 Emperor Seals appear. Maybe I can lure some people away. Fong Ping had no idea where 9 Emperor Seals were, that things seemed to be able to move on its own. However, Fong Ping could vaguely sense that 9 Emperor Seals should be nearby. His origin seemed to have some connection with 9 Emperor Seals. It might be related to the path he took. Unquestionable Jian. Unquestionable Jian shouldn't be entangled with the Fengtian lineage anymore. Go deal with someone else. Fong Ping also did not want unquestionable Jian to be entangled now. Maybe it would be better to deal with someone else. However, Fong Ping had somewhat underestimated unquestionable Jian. Just as he was calculating, unquestionable Jian pointed its sword at Gong Yuzi and suddenly laughed. Gong Yuzi, you stopped me because you raised me and taught me martial arts. I owe you, but I owe others too. I owe honor, I owe many people. Since you said that my martial arts, my strength came from the Fengtian lineage, then I'll return it to you. But today, I'm going to make a move. After saying that, unquestionable Jian looked up and laughed. Fong Ping, I owe many people, but not you. I'm not helping you because of you, but because of the cat. I owe it to it. Since you're its chosen one, then I'll return it to you. From today onwards, I don't owe anyone. In this world, there shouldn't be unquestionable Jian. As soon as he finished speaking, Gong Yuzi's expression changed the next moment. At this moment, heaven and earth roared. A passageway appeared and collapsed in an instant. On the other side of the passageway, there seemed to be a person appearing and disappearing in the blink of an eye. Unquestionable Jian burst into laughter. He cut off his connection with Jiang Hao. At this moment, on earth, Jiang Hao's body trembled slightly. In the next moment, the qi of a saint that he maintained earlier dissipated completely. In the blink of an eye, he regained his impasse strength. In the House of Guardians, Jiang Hao's gaze was blank for a moment. Very quickly, he laughed at himself and shook his head. He closed his eyes and stabilized his qi, no longer thinking about these things. Unquestionable Jiang Hao was no longer alone today. At the entrance of the space battlefield, unquestionable Jian laughed loudly. Jiang Hao was Jiang Hao. Unquestionable Jian was unquestionable Jian. From today onwards, they had nothing to do with each other anymore. At this moment, unquestionable Jian's chi flourished. A powerful vitality force pierced through the space battlefield. Heaven and earth roared. Unquestionable Jian grabbed Gong Yuzi with one hand. At this moment, he laughed loudly and said, "I shouldn't have come to this world in the first place. Fang Ping, remember, open the passageway in 30 seconds. I'm leaving. What I owe the cat. I might not be able to return, but I'll return some. Let's end it here." As soon as he finished speaking, unquestionable Jian slashed. On the other side, Feng's avatar's expression was ugly. He teleported instantly, wanting to leave this place. But how could he avoid it? At this moment, unquestionable Jian's vitality was burning. His origin was burning. His Tao was burning. He was leaving. Kill. Kill. Breaking 7. And it was peak breaking 7. This was unquestionable Jian. With this slash, unquestionable Jian's strength was fully displayed. It was so powerful that no one could match it. Not far away, Li Zhu and the other two were horrified. A top-notch powerhouse attacked at all costs. How could Feng's avatar withstand it? Even his real body had to avoid it. Crack! The sound of glass shattering was heard. Feng's avatar seemed to have no ability to resist at this moment and was slashed into pieces directly. In the next moment, unquestionable Jian's sword aura surged into the sky. With a rumble, the two heavenly king seals in the sealed passageway of the space battlefield were slashed away. Unquestionable Jian swung his sword and attacked the three kings, the three heavenly king powerhouses. When Li Zhu saw this, his expression changed slightly. He sighed softly and stepped into the void, leaving instantly. There was no need to continue fighting with a madman who was about to die. King Sun and King Zhen also wanted to leave, but they were a little slower. This slash cut through the air and landed directly. When they saw this, they roared, and the heavenly king seals that were slashed away instantly appeared in front of them. They joined forces to block this slash. A loud bang was heard. The heavenly king seals were slashed away again. Unquestionable Jian's sword aura landed, and with a puff, the two of them were cut in half at the waist. When the two of them saw this, their angry roars spread in all directions. On the other side, King Qian stopped chasing Zhang Tao and rushed over rapidly. Unquestionable Jian laughed. "It can't be helped. There are too many dogs. They can still bite me if they join forces. In the future, you guys can kill them yourselves." After saying that, he swung his sword again, turning the broken golden bodies of the two heavenly kings into minced meat. However, how powerful was a heavenly king powerhouse? Their source worlds rumbled. In the next moment, their golden bodies recovered. Although their faces were pale, their auras were still strong. Unquestionable Jian slashed again. This time, it did not slash their physical bodies. Instead, it swept across and sent the two of them flying thousands of miles away. "Ha ha, it's time for me to leave." Unquestionable Jian laughed loudly. He broke out of the space battlefield instantly and disappeared in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Fang Ping also broke out of the space battlefield instantly and disappeared from the space battlefield. In the outside world, unquestionable Jian carried Gong Yuzi, and his speed was extremely fast. Along the way, his aura pierced through heaven and earth and reached the passageway in the blink of an eye. Fast, too fast. Even Fang Ping could not sense his existence. He could only sense that incomparably powerful aura. Sensing that he had reached the passageway, Fang Ping hurriedly controlled the heaven-confining bell and opened up an opening. Unquestionable Jian's aura disappeared on the spot instantly. At the same time, in the three realms, Wan Gang walked near the fake sky grave and had a strange expression. So strange. A passageway was opened. Didn't they say that he could not enter? Just as he thought about it, Wan Gang was on guard. A powerhouse. At this moment, a shocking sword aura exploded in the three realms. Unquestionable Jian dashed out instantly. He did not even look at Luan, who was not far away. He laughed loudly and tore the void apart, disappearing on the spot in the blink of an eye. Luan Gang was stunned for a moment. Sensing that the passageway was not completely closed, he scratched his head. Should he go in? What a coincidence. Should I go in and take a look? Luan Gang's figure moved and entered the passageway instantly. At this moment, he could not help but turn back to take a look. This look made Luan's emotions fluctuate uncontrollably. In the distance, a sword aura pierced through the sky and earth. Unquestionable Jian's laughter echoed throughout the three realms. Feng, since I can't kill you today, I'll return a sword to you. My sword slays the heavens. I've been someone else's chess piece my entire life. Today I've broken through. At this moment between heaven and earth, there was only this sword, a sword that gave everything he had. The entire forbidden sea calmed down at this moment. There were no waves, no sound. You're courting death. A clear bellow reverberated in all directions. The calm Feng was flustered and exasperated at this moment. Between heaven and earth, a sword materialized. In the blink of an eye, the two swords collided. Sealed Sky Island. At this moment, the island was still there. However, at this moment, the flowers and trees on the entire island withered instantly. The maidservant behind Feng still had a look of surprise on her face, but her aura was extinguished. In the distance, huge demonic beasts were motionless. It was as though time had stopped, but their aura had already been extinguished. On the entire island, the buildings were still there. However, on the island, be it young or old, they were all motionless at this moment. Feng stood in the pavilion, motionless as well. In the next moment, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His golden body exploded and recovered in an instant. Soon, it exploded again. Again and again, Feng's face turned paler and paler. Opposite him, unquestionable Jian carried Gong Yuzi. There was no longer a sword in his hand. He laughed. In the next moment, he said with a smile, "Master, your disciple will return an opportunity to you." As soon as he finished speaking, his body was instantly extinguished. A powerful source of qi surged into Gong Yuzi's body. Before Gong Yuzi could speak, he felt that his source world was about to explode. Unquestionable Jian did not expand his source world for him. At this moment, the source of qi surged into Gong Yuzi's great Tao. The source of qi condensed into a long sword that instantly slashed forward. Master, the great Tao is difficult. Whether you can go further depends on your fate. Rumble! The great Tao, which was originally over 50,000 meters long, instantly opened up. In the blink of an eye, it was 60,000 meters, 70,000 meters, 80,000 meters. As for the long sword, it gradually dissipated. In the end, only a loud laugh was left that spread throughout the source universe. Big cat, little sword, I'll make a move first. Everything of the past will vanish today. The three realms no longer has unquestionable Jian. Rumble! A loud sound rang out. In the source universe, a huge star instantly exploded. The source world was in turmoil. In the three realms, blood rain poured down. Demonic city. Tears suddenly rolled down the corners of the sleeping gray cat's eyes. When it opened its eyes, they were filled with tears. Drip, drip, drip. The tears could not help but fall, drop after drop. In the sky, the blood-colored rain washed the ground. dyeing the entire world red. Meow. The soft meow of a cat could be heard again and again. Its fat body shook continuously as it cried sorrowfully. Little Sword was dead. At this moment, the entire world was grieving. The number one person in the era of sex, the strongest genius, had left many legends and mysteries in the three realms. In the end, he took everything with him and perished in the three realms. On this day, the demon emperor had completely fallen. On this day, the era of sex, the 100 schools of thought contending, had come to an end. On this day, the sky-sealing lineage had become a land of death. Only a supreme expert who had schemed his entire life was constantly vomiting blood. I'm not wrong. I'm just trying to survive. Who's wrong? The fault of all living beings. The heavens have no eyes to begin with. I'll open the heavens' eyes. A loud shout resounded through the clouds. With a loud bang, the heaven-sealing island was instantly destroyed. The smoke and dust fell into the forbidden sea and disappeared without a trace. On the surface of the sea, Feng threw his head back and laughed loudly. With a splash, he plunged into the sea and disappeared in an instant. A moment later, several spiritual forces brushed past. Everything was calm and tranquil. Everything had long since disappeared. The demon emperor is heavily injured. The seal has disappeared. Gong Yuzi has gone deep into the sea of bitterness, and his whereabouts are unknown. What a pity. The heaven-sealing lineage has calculated everything, but in the end, it's all just an illusion. Who can understand the way of this world? Sighs resounded in all directions. Very soon, the sighs dissipated. The rain of blood was endless. In the fake sky grave, the sky was pitch black. Fong Ping was silent for a long time. He took out a pot of wine and poured it on the ground, saying softly, "Thank you very much. I'll send you on your way. Have a safe journey." The demon emperor was gone. The powerhouse who had gone through the era of sex, the royal court era, and the neo-martial arts era was gone. Fong Ping did not know why he changed his mind. The original demon emperor probably did not have this idea. Jiang Hao's existence meant that he still wanted to live a second life. Now, however, it had vanished into thin air. The origin planet was destroyed. The demon emperor had completely fallen. Sobs were heard. Someone was crying. It was Warlord's voice. He was mourning for the dead. Warlord, who was usually smiling brightly, was crying today. He knew. He remembered. He remembered everything in Purple Cap Mountain. He remembered everything in the past. He hated unquestionable Jian for doing everything for revenge. He hated unquestionable Jian for being heartless and scheming against all living beings. But today, that annoying guy was gone. Martial uncle, bring me out to play. When I'm strong in the future, if anyone dares to say that you're a scammer, I'll beat them up for you. Martial uncle, master is in seclusion. Can you teach me Dao techniques? Martial uncle, I'm at the Golden Body realm. Martial uncle, unquestionable Jian has left. I'm sorry. Martial uncle, the chubby warlord's tears were flowing in the void. It was extremely comical, but no one could laugh. The godly divination lord was dead, but he was still alive. It had been more than 300 years. There were always things that were hard to forget, but there were always things that could be remembered. Gong Yuzi! Seal! Warlord roared at the sky. The sky-sealing bloodline. The sky-sealing bloodline. Sighs could be heard from all directions. No one cared about Doqian's death. But the demon emperor's death shocked the powerhouses of the three realms. He represented an era in a valley. Gong Zhuanzi had a conflicted expression as he cupped his fists and said in a deep voice, "Rest in peace." He was very familiar with this competitor of the past. Back then, they drank together, fished together, and discussed the Tao together. He was the Lord of Kwokang Mountain, the top disciple of Purple Cap Mountain. They were good friends. Until one day, he never stepped foot into Kwokang Mountain again. Until one day, someone told him that he was foolish, and that he should prove his Tao in this era. From that year onwards, the Demon Emperor was the Demon Emperor, and the North Sea was the North Sea. The death of Unquestionable Sword was completely out of everyone's expectations. That low-profile guy who had been dormant for many years used everything he had to slay Dotian. After slaying Dotian, he used up everything to slay Feng. However, the situation did not change with the death of Unquestionable Jian. Although King Sun and King Zhen were injured by Unquestionable Jian, they still had 80% of their combat strength and were extremely powerful. With the death of Unquestionable Jian, the situation of humans worsened. At that moment, the situation of humans became even more dangerous. In the Spirit Emperor Dojo, Fang Ping poured out a pot of wine, leaving a small mouthful, and downed it in one gulp. Suddenly, he laughed. The barefooted are not afraid of the barefooted. Now that you're wearing shoes, you're afraid. Even the Demon Emperor is not afraid of death. Who is afraid of death? If I'm not crazy, who else can go berserk? At that moment, Fang Ping's aura erupted, and he roared, "Humans scatter and hide in different places. Warn me if you encounter an enemy saint. Today, I will slaughter all the enemies in this world." Of course. At that moment, someone roared. In the next moment, Fang Ping traversed the void, tore through space, and arrived here. Slay. Slay God. Slay Saint. A saber illuminated heaven and earth. Rumble. When the saber was unleashed, the red heaven and earth became brighter. 3 sect protectors. Here, the 3 great sect protectors were not far from each other. They were killing and capturing humans separately. At that moment, Fang Ping's saber slayed the heavenly protector. At that moment, the other 2 great sect protectors hurried over. The few human paragons who were about to be captured looked at each other and suddenly smiled. Powerful enemies were attacking. They already knew everything that happened in the space battlefield. When the saints arrived, they were no match for them. They were already prepared to die. No, they already knew on the day they came in. At that moment, the human paragons who were lucky enough to escape looked at Fang Ping. Some of them smiled in relief. The old ancestor of the Chun family, the powerhouse who had created the neo-martial arts, kicked Chen Yaozu, who was beside him. He laughed and roared, "We should have killed these bastards." Fang Ping, I've never regretted it. Never. In the next moment, this old man leaped into the air. His Tao was burning, his flesh was burning. With a roar, he broke through the void and grabbed the Earth Protector who wanted to capture him just now. An explosive rumble resounded through the void. On the other side, the path of the great sect protectors was also blocked. Almost in the blink of an eye, the humans who were blocking the way exploded. Fang Ping, slay him. Someone roared. The 3 great sect protectors were inseparable. Even the heavenly kings could not kill them. Fang Ping injured the heavenly protector with 1 slash. The other 2 great sect protectors were too close. Fang Ping did not have time to kill the enemy. He could only exchange life for life. Take a gamble. Bet that Fang Ping could slay the powerful enemy in the time they bought. Kill a saint. Killing a saint. His death was worth it. Fang Ping's tears fell like rain. He did not dare to touch the 3 great sect protectors and the 2 catacombs kings because they knew the danger. They were inseparable and too difficult to kill. If he was surrounded, his life would be in danger. At this moment, the human powerhouses stood up one by one, using their lives to buy time for him. Kill the enemy. Die. Fong Ping erupted. His mentality exploded with a rumble. His golden body also exploded with a rumble. Origin descended, breaking through the other party's origin in an instant, hacking wildly. "You are crazy!" The heavenly protector roared. Unbelievable. Was he crazy? In order to kill him, Fong Ping was too crazy. Puff. His flesh exploded. Origin chi spread wildly, using his life to exchange for life. "Hurry!" the heavenly protector roared. "Hurry up and save him." On the other side, Chun Guyong's self-destruction delayed the Earth Protector for a moment. Chun Yaozu, who was kicked away, his eyes blood-red, screaming, "Father!" Seeing that the Earth Protector had shaken off the aftermath of the self-destruction, Chun Yaozu roared. His vitality surged. He wanted to hold him back. "It's not your turn." At this moment, a big monk broke through the air and roared. "It's not your turn." There were still many old guys in the 6 Holy Lands. Compared to them, Chun Yaozu could only be considered a small guy. "Human King, treat my ancient Buddha, Holy Land well." Rumble! The sound of self-destruction was heard again. "Go to hell!" Fong Ping roared again, resounding in all directions. Crack! The sound of a Tao collapsing was heard. In the next moment, Fong Ping's flesh reappeared. His eyes were blood-red. He grabbed a saint's token and laughed. Bang! The heavenly protector's flesh exploded. His spiritual consciousness emerged. In the blink of an eye, his spiritual consciousness exploded. His Tao collapsed. He died with his eyes wide open. No, the 2 great heavenly protectors could not believe it. Without another word, they turned and ran. The Trinity had been united for many years. They could fight heavenly kings, but heavenly kings could not kill them. Today, they had only separated for a short distance. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, the heavenly protector would be killed? Running above Fong Ping's flesh, the imperishable substance tumbled. Origin chi erupted. With a slash, he roared, "Retreat! Retreat from this place. After I kill them all, I'll look for you." "Fong Ping, go!" Fong Ping roared. In a short moment, the 3 paragons had self-destructed. They could not afford to die. Chun Yaozu's eyes were bloodshot. He turned around and grabbed a broken token. It was his father's token. Without another word, he took to the air and left. The others also fled in all directions. At this moment, the 2 great heavenly protectors did not dare to turn around and fight. They did not even dare to attack the humans. They fled quickly. Rumble! The earthly protector, the only female among the 3 great heavenly protectors, the ancestor of earthly wisdom, staggered at this moment. Origin chi overflowed from her body. Heavenly protector screamed and roared, "Tianbai, save me!" The heavenly protector, Tianli, the earthly protector Tianbai, and the earthly protector Tianwei, one of the 36 saints in the past. At this moment, following the death of Tianli, the remaining 2 were completely terrified. Tianhui was fighting with Fong Ping in the origin world, but her footsteps were delayed. At this moment, she roared fiercely. Tianbai came back. He could still fight. On the other side, the earthly protector's footsteps paused slightly. The 3 of them had fought together for thousands of years. Naturally, they still had feelings for each other. However, at this moment, when he saw King of War and King of Hell rushing here crazily from afar, he was scared. If the 2 venerable sovereigns self-detonated, no, if the 2 venerable sovereigns joined hands, they could delay him for a while without self-detonation. Once he was entangled, the consequences would be unimaginable. Buzz. The void was torn apart. Tianbai broke through the void and left without looking back. No, Tianhui roared. Sect leader, save me! A sharp roar reverberated in all directions. On the other side, King Kuan did not come, but King Sun's and King Zhen's auras could be felt. They were rushing here quickly. No one can save you. Fang Ping also went crazy. You want to exterminate the human race. I'll make sure you suffer. Explode. Explode. His mentality self-detonated again and again. At this moment, Fang Ping did not care about the cracks anymore. In the origin world, the 4 fat babies repaired the cracks crazily. In the end, the fat babies sat by the lake in a daze. They could not repair the cracks anymore. After repairing 1, 3 appeared immediately. It was so tiring. Every time his mentality self-detonated, Tianhui would be stagnant for a moment, and this moment was enough for Fang Ping to slash dozens of times. With a boom, the Tao roared and showed signs of breaking. Tianhui looked desperate and smiled miserably. Let's die together. There was a loud boom. An ancient sage self-detonated at this moment. The world was silent. In the distance, King Zhan and King Zhen were sent flying. The world trembled again. On this day, 2 heavenly kings and 2 ancient sages died in battle. Fear began to spread. Bastard! A fierce roar reverberated in all directions. King Kuan's voice came from afar. He roared, Fang Ping, go to hell! At this moment, Fang Ping's body appeared again. His face was so pale that it was unbearable. He roared, Today I'll kill all the people in your cult. I'll let you live alone. Li Zhu, Hong Yu, none of you can escape. Go! Fang Ping roared at King Zhan and King Zhen. Go kill those true gods. At most, we'll die together. Hearing this, the 2 emperors did not say anything else. They fled frantically and flew into the distance. Fang Ping also did not stop. He grabbed the second saint's token that he had just obtained in the origin realm and fled quickly. King Sun and King Zhen were flying at high speed behind him. King Sun grabbed in the direction where Fang Ping disappeared. He tore the void, but there was nothing there. Bastard! The 2 heavenly kings were furious. On the other side, Fang Ping descended again. He slashed down with his saber. A true god who was fleeing in panic was smashed into pieces by Fang Ping without caring where he came from. In the blink of an eye, Fang Ping tore the void and fled. Was it more crazy than this? Come on, I'll kill all your subordinates. I'd like to see what will be left of you in the end. Fang Ping tore the void again. He saw a saint with bloodshot eyes. Hand over the saint's token. Before this person finished speaking, Fang Ping's mentality exploded instantly. He broke into the origin realm again and slashed with his saber. His body flew forward and punched. 9 saints' tokens suppressed the surroundings. Hand it over. A terrified roar was heard. In the next moment, a saint's token appeared. This member of the 36 saints was terrified at this moment. If it was any other time, he wouldn't hand over his saint's token. But today, Fang Ping's eyes were bloodshot. 2 of the 3 great sect protectors were dead. He had just met Fang Ping, and Fang Ping fought him with his life before he could finish speaking. How would he dare to not hand it over? Fang Ping, who was bloodshot, grabbed the saint's token, struggled for a moment, and left. He had already offended the other party. He wanted to kill him as well. But killing the saint would definitely waste time. The 2 heavenly kings were still chasing after him. If it wasn't for the fact that his aura was restrained and the void fluctuations were hard to capture, he would have been caught by the 2 heavenly kings. Just as Fang Ping left, the 2 heavenly kings arrived. They looked at the saint and snorted coldly. The ancient saint didn't say anything. He lowered his head and was ready to escape at any time. He knew that the 2 heavenly kings were angry that he gave them the saint's token. But he didn't want to die. The humans had already gone crazy. At this moment, there were battles everywhere. The roars were endless. The great Tao collapsed, the sky fell, and the earth cracked. True gods fell one after another. There were humans and other forces. Human life was like grass. At this moment, could it be that they would fight Fong Ping to the end for the saint's token? Just as the two heavenly kings were about to continue chasing, Fong Ping roared, "God creation envoy, hold one of them back." On the other side, the two catacombs kings were flight step. Behind them, there was a person sitting on Li Wuji's body, the God creation envoy. The God creation envoy glanced at the two kings. Without any nonsense, he quickly broke through the air. At this moment, a giant hand grabbed the two kings and grabbed them. Hong Yu's voice was heard. "I have no intention of participating in the battle." As soon as he finished speaking, Hong Yu grabbed the two kings and fled. Fong Ping's eyes were cold. Previously, King Kuan and the others asked the two kings to attack and capture the humans. Why didn't you stop them? They all deserved to die. None of them were good. But now, since Hong Yu had withdrawn, Fong Ping did not say a word. It might be better if this guy did not interfere. Fong Ping did not stay and left in the blink of an eye. The God creation envoy did not care and continued to return to Li Wuji's body, waiting for the two heavenly kings to arrive. In the next moment, the two heavenly kings arrived. The God creation envoy said, leisurely, "I'm an avatar. Kill me. I'll definitely kill you later. If you don't believe me, try it." He was only an avatar. If he died, he would only lose a semi-divine weapon. But these two fellows, unless they did not go out, he would not let them go. Li Wuji's legs were trembling. He was afraid and terrified. The aura of the two heavenly kings was too strong. King Sun and King Zhen looked at each other, their eyes burning. The God creation envoy was not afraid. He curled his lips. "I'm an avatar. The longer you delay, the better. If you kill me, then kill me. As for Li Wuji, consider it unlucky. It would not be too late to settle the score with these two fellows after he left." The two heavenly kings snorted coldly. In the next moment, King Sun attacked. With a single strike, more than half of his avatar dissipated. He snorted coldly again and left quickly. Yes, it was useless to kill him. However, he had to prevent the God creation envoy from helping Fong Ping kill the saint when his strength was at its peak. The God creation envoy sneered and did not retaliate. After they left, he said contemptuously, "Trash. I'll kill you sooner or later." The two of them did not even dare to kill his avatar. What else did they dare to do? They could only bully a newbie like Fong Ping. Among the veteran heavenly kings, who would they dare to offend? In all directions, a great battle erupted. The sounds of killing shook the heavens. The rain of blood could not stop. The sky was splitting open. If not for the fact that this was the king's dojo, the battle today would have broken this world. At the entrance, Wang was dumbfounded. So chaotic, so savage. Two ancient sages had fallen one after another. One had to know that even 8,000 years ago, during the chaotic era, it was not as chaotic as this. Heavenly kings and saints fell without a care for their lives. Wan was stunned. Was he still called Wan? This damned place was too chaotic. Did saints not need money? F***CK. If I had known, I wouldn't have come in. Wan was a little speechless. This place was filled with heavenly kings, their auras exploding. There were powerhouses everywhere. Saints were running for their lives. Heavenly kings were angry, and Emperor True Gods were fighting. It was a mess. At this moment, many powerhouses fought to his side. Scram! Someone shouted angrily. Wan was blocking the way. This person was being chased by Shin Haotian and the god of war. He was also an emperor true god, but he was fleeing in a panic. He did not care so much. Someone was blocking his escape route. He did not sense any auras, but it was not a heavenly king or saint that he knew. Other than heavenly kings and saints, they were weak. Perhaps they were heavily injured. Before this person finished thinking, Juan's expression turned cold. You scolded me? You dare scold me? I am number one in the world. Who dares to scold me? I will kill you. Juan let out a deep roar and punched out. The void shattered. The sixth heaven was broken. Vaguely, the seventh heaven was also breaking. The fleeing, venerable emperor looked terrified. Heavenly king. A heavenly king who broke 6, no, maybe 7. Where did this heavenly king come from? There was a loud boom. There was no time for him to think. The next moment, this venerable emperor was directly smashed into pieces by Juan's punch. His great Tao collapsed, leaving no trace. Behind, Shun Haotian and the others were stunned. Then Shun Haotian shouted, "Thank you, Heavenly King, for helping to kill the evil sect's protector." The one who had just died was one of the evil sect's 8 protectors. Juan looked at him, frowned, and cursed in his heart. You want to avert the trouble? Do you think I am stupid? Do you think I can't tell? Do you think I am Juan for nothing? Chapter 12:06. He tore through the void and went to settle the score with King Kuan. Right now, Fong Ping was not in the mood to care about what was going on there. Right now, Fong Ping's eyes were bloodshot. He broke through the air and slashed with his saber. In this godforsaken place, anyone he didn't know was an enemy. He would never kill the wrong person. A true god did not even have time to speak before he was slashed into pieces by Fong Ping's saber. At this moment, Li Zhu's voice resounded. Martial artists of God Continent, gather at the space battlefield. Overseas Immortal Isles martial artists, retreat. Heavenly King Heaven martial artists, come quickly. One by one, the Heavenly Kings spoke up. They couldn't let this go on. It was true that they were powerful, but that didn't mean they didn't need subordinates. There were many things that were inconvenient for them to do, so they needed these people to do it. The chaos was only the beginning, not the end. Now that everyone was dead, what would happen in the future? The human race was not the main focus in their plans, but now, because of the human race, countless experts had fallen, and even heavenly kings were falling. If this continued, perhaps before the great chaos completely arrived, all the experts would die. It was beyond everyone's expectations. Perhaps the person who set this up didn't expect this either. The human race was too crazy. In a short period of time, 2 heavenly kings had died, more than half of the sages had died, and emperor-level true gods had fallen one after another. The experts of the 3 realms were almost completely exhausted. All the martial artists retreated one after another. He no longer dared to run around, let alone kill people. Let's run first. This place was getting more and more dangerous. Even heavenly kings were in a precarious situation. Only by breaking through 7 would one have the capital to survive. As Fong Ping entered, the number of killings increased. There were dead people everywhere in the outside world. As many experts died, heaven and earth trembled. The earth quaked and the mountains shook. In the human world, many experts soared into the sky and stabilized the surroundings. In the catacombs, the heavenly King's seal and the Saints' Order appeared, suppressing all directions. In the bitter sea, the seawater was tumbling, and the demonic beasts in the sea were fleeing in all directions. It was a mess. Chaos was coming. At this moment, many people even saw something they had never seen before. Too many experts had died. At this moment, there seemed to be a network of arteries and veins appearing in the air. They were like roots that covered the entire sky. They could not see it clearly, but some people could vaguely feel that it was very important. Those meridians were like meridians that pierced through heaven and earth. They were blood red in color. Some top experts looked up at the starry sky, their expressions fluctuating. The Great Way. It seemed to be the Great Tao. The Great Tao was appearing. The world was really going to be chaotic. The madness before the great chaos. The eruption before the great chaos. Spiritual emperors Bottomanda. Fong Ping had gone mad from all the killing. He didn't even know how many real gods he had killed. He still had some impression of the emperor-level ones, but when he encountered real gods, he killed them with a single slash. At this moment, Fong Ping was madly refining the three saints' tokens without a care in the world. Behind him, the second king's heavenly king seals smashed over, shattering the void. Fong Ping burned his vitality and fled at top speed, his laughter echoing incessantly. The two of you, let's go crazy one last time. Come, kill me. If you can't kill me, don't even think about living. Emperor Realm cultivators, go to the Yellow Springs and prove your Tao. Fong Ping roared at the top of his lungs. The next moment, a palm slapped toward him. There was a loud boom. The void shattered, and a lotus rose. It was just a brush, and half of Fong Ping's flesh was shattered. Li Zhu, come again. Fong Ping went mad. He threw his head back and laughed. Again, enter my essence and destroy my essence. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for me to die. If I don't die, then you should. But if I die, I will blast your origin and let the world see what you, Li Zhu, have been hiding. Ha ha ha. Li Zhu, come on. You're a powerful cultivator of the broken 7 stage. You don't even dare to enter my origin? You think you can be a chess player? Ha ha ha. You think this king doesn't dare? In the next moment, Li Zhu's figure emerged. His face was cold, and his smile was gone. To kill Fong Ping, he would have to destroy his origin. He was a breakthrough 7 powerhouse. Logically speaking, he should not be afraid of Fong Ping. However, Fong Ping's origin was somewhat difficult to deal with. He was also afraid that Fong Ping would counterattack before his death and expose some of his secrets. Trash, come on. Fong Ping laughed. I looked down on you. They looked down on the 9 emperors and the 4 emperors. He looked down on all those who schemed behind their backs. Who do you think you are? Compared to you, Hong Kuan is more fun. At least he's a big villain that I know. Ha ha ha. His laughter resounded in all directions. In the distant depths of the space battlefield, King Kuan's face turned purple. Was that a compliment or a derogatory remark? Fong Ping thought highly of him. What was this? Was it because he was a powerhouse who openly opposed the humans? He had no time to think about it. A madman had arrived. Luan, don't mess around. Before King Kuan could finish, Luan howled and charged over. He did not even look at the others and scolded wildly. Old dog, how dare you scold me? I was already annoyed with you back then. Now that I've just left the mountain, you dare to scold me. You're rebelling. Some old things don't know how high the sky is unless they're beaten to death. Rumble. Luan threw a punch. Fist to break the old dog. The second punch was thrown. He roared, fist to hit the dog's head. The third punch. Divine dog punch. The dog is here to die. Beat the dog to death. There's no dog in the world. Everyone was speechless. They knew that he had been provoked before. In the past, he attacked Song Mao and was almost beaten to death by the heavenly dog. He escaped to the 3 realms and was chased by the heavenly dog until he almost vomited blood. He really hated dogs. But now, it was the same for beating up King Kuan. It still made everyone speechless. In the distance, King Qian was suppressing Zhang Tao. Upon hearing this, he shouted, Luan, this is not a place for you to mess around. We Roar at your dog ancestor. Juan cursed. He had been suppressing his anger for a long time. He opened his mouth and scolded, "If you dare to say another word, I'll peel off your dog's skin today." King Qian's face was ashen. Lunatic, chaotic heavenly king. The word chaotic ran through the chaotic era. Chaotic was the situation of that era, and it was also referring to this person. This person was the reason why the chaotic era existed. No one did not dare to fight. No one did not dare to kill him. However, he was also very strong. He was an unkillable cockroach. The more he fought, the stronger he became. After provoking the heavenly dog could not be bothered with him. Juan was even more annoying than a dog. He could hold a grudge for a lifetime. If he couldn't beat you, he would disgust you to death. The heavenly dog had been attacked by him over 100 times and almost killed him over 100 times. In the end, he still ran away. The heavenly dog was so angry that it acted as if it didn't see him. Humans disliked dogs. It was referring to this guy. Otherwise, a domineering powerhouse like the God creation envoy would not have a headache because of this guy. At this moment, King Qian's face turned pale from being scolded, but he did not say anything. King Kuan's expression was also unsightly. He snorted coldly and slashed out with his sword. Juan was forced to retreat thousands of meters. He was stunned for a moment before he became wild with joy and roared, "That wretched old thing, let's join forces. Don't think I'm stupid. They're surrounding you. Kill this guy, he's tough." That fish from the bitter sea. Only then did Juan seem to see the sea suppressing messengers. He was overjoyed and roared, too. The demon race's bones were even harder. "Old thing, let's work together. If you beat him to death, I want the bones. The rest is yours." As he roared, Juan was truly incomparably crazy. He charged towards King Kuan in a frenzy, punching out tens of thousands of times in the air, causing the void to collapse. The entire space battlefield was trembling. He was truly going all out, not holding anything back at all. He truly displayed his Break 7 power, not showing any intention of holding back at all. King Kuan, on the other hand, felt somewhat restrained. He slashed out with his long sword and slashed out countless times in a row, causing bones to creak and sparks to fly in all directions. But the chaos was too crazy. He didn't care about these things at all. He just focused on killing. At this moment, the sea-suppressing heavenly king's eyes lit up. This was a good opportunity. Juan was too good. "Kuanpeng, how dare you interfere?" The sea-suppressing heavenly king suddenly looked at the sea-suppressing messengers, no longer calling him the sea-suppressing messengers. At this moment, he was incomparably domineering. His body suddenly straightened, and his eyes were cold. He punched through the void, and in the blink of an eye, he was fighting with the sea-suppressing messengers. The sea-suppressing messenger's face was gloomy. In the next moment, he really couldn't bear it anymore. With a rumble, an incomparably huge bird appeared between heaven and earth. The Kuan in the sea, the Peng in the sky. Sharp claws gently swept across the void, shattering the space. However, the sea-suppressing heavenly king was also terrifyingly powerful at this moment. He suddenly turned into a towering giant, stretched out both hands, and grabbed the sea-suppressing heavenly king's sharp claws. With a rumble, one of the sea-suppressing heavenly king's claws was directly crushed. "Sea-suppressing heavenly king, you'd better go back and be a fish to be caught by others." The sea-suppressing heavenly king roared. In the next moment, one hand broke through the sky, broke through the void, and punched towards King Kuan, who was about to destroy Zhang Tao's physical body. He shouted coldly, "You too!" This punch broke through thousands of miles of the void, but it was still powerful. King Kuan revealed his strength, but he was blasted into the darkness by this punch. In the next moment, a huge force swept over, and the void in front of King Kuan collapsed. In the blink of an eye, King Kuan was caught in front of him. He also quickly punched out, and the Heavenly King's seal followed, suppressing the sea, suppressing Heavenly King. Do you really think you're a big shot? The sea-suppressing Heavenly King's clothes were torn, revealing a muscular body that was intertwined with gold and jade. His old appearance instantly became incomparably young, and his white hair turned black. His eyes were like lightning. So what if I'm Li Jun? You know my identity, and you still dare to be so presumptuous? The sea-suppressing Heavenly King rumbled and punched towards the Heavenly King's seal. Bang! An explosion sounded, and the Heavenly King's seal was directly submerged into the void, disappearing without a trace. At this moment, King Kuan's blood was flowing wildly, and his divine power was overflowing. He had directly lost contact with the Heavenly King's seal. Suppress. A mirror appeared in front of the sea-suppressing messengers. It was the sea-suppressing heavenly mirror. The sea-suppressing Heavenly King also sneered, and a Heavenly King seal appeared. Suppress your mother. Rumble. The Heavenly King seal collided with the sea-calming sky mirror, and the sound reverberated. At this moment, the ears of the few people in the distance were bleeding. Heaven's fate was already dumbfounded. Terrifying. Too terrifying. What kind of world was this? Level 7. Level 8. Among the 5 powerhouses fighting over there, the weakest was level 7. This world had gone crazy. In the small space battlefield, a battle between 5 powerhouses above level 7 had erupted. This had never been seen in ancient times, except for those few great battles. At this moment, King Kuan was dragged away, and Zhang Tao was out of fatal danger. Looking at the powerhouses surrounding him, he chuckled and said, "Do you still want to come? Do you really want to fight to the death with us?" Fang Ping was in danger again. However, there were still many powerhouses here. Moon Spirit, Heaven's Fate, Hong Yu, Tian Kuei, and the 2 Catacombs Kings who had just rushed back. At this moment, Zhang Tao suddenly roared, and the imperial aura left behind by the Spirit Emperor on his body erupted. The Tao also roared, and the next moment, a big golden seal shot out. Zhang Tao's expression changed. With a roar, the 9 emperors' seal flew toward Tian Kuei. Tian Kuei wanted to dodge, but his eyes suddenly moved. The next moment, a big seal fell into his hand. The world fell silent. Tian Kuei was stunned for less than a second. Very quickly, in the blink of an eye, he reacted instantly and escaped into the void, without a word. On the other side, the Sea Guardian saw this and roared, "Li Shun, let me leave. You think you can come and go as you please?" The Sky Guardian King sneered, "Even if I let Tian Kuei have it, I won't give it to you. This daddy will make you suffer the consequences." He would rather let Tian Kuei have it. Want to leave. If the Sea Guardian King left, there might be a big problem. Who was a match for the Sea Guardian? He could kill Fang Ping with a casual blow. If he took the 9 Emperors' seal, would he let go of so many saint tokens that Fang Ping had taken? The Sky Guardian King knew it too well. It was impossible. On the other hand, Tian Kuei was not strong enough, and he had to hide from others. He had no time to find trouble with Fang Ping. He understood Zhang Tao's plan instantly. Damn it! The Sea Guardian cursed, flustered, and exasperated. His goal was the 9 Emperors' seal. Now that it had appeared, he was being held back by Li Jun. On the other side, Tian Kuei escaped outside without a word. Zhang Tao was still heckling, shouting, "Go to the passageway. I'll let you out. After you get out, I have no other requests. The new Heavenly Court has the Heavenly King seal and the Saint token. Kill those people and take the treasures." As soon as he said that, Hong Yu, who had been silent all this while, broke through the air and left. The expressions of the two catacombs kings changed. They quickly chased after him. Ha ha ha. Zhang Tao laughed. Hong Yu, you've finally shown your true colors. If you have the guts, let Tian Kuei out. Tian Kuei was a heavenly king, and he had the heavenly king's seal. Now, he had taken the 9 emperors' seal. After he got out, he would definitely go to the catacombs. Definitely. Although the 9 saints were powerful, and they were not afraid of the heavenly king even if they joined forces, Tian Kuei would not give up. This was also his only chance. Otherwise, if everyone else got out, Tian Kuei would not stand a chance. Hong Yu could not hold it in anymore. The 9 saints were the core of the heavenly court. If they were targeted by the heavenly court, it would be a huge problem. It was even more chaotic. Hong Yu immediately led his men out and chased after Tian Kuei. Moon Spirit's expression changed. When she saw that, she paused for a moment and followed. At that moment, only Tian Kuei was left. Tian Kuei seemed to be in a dilemma. Zhang Tao was about to speak when Tian Kuei suddenly said bitterly, That, give me an opening and let me out. I promise that I won't become enemies with the human race once I get out. Get out. He was going to leave. This was 2F * King Scary. A bunch of cunning old fools, each more cunning and powerful than the last. Even the heavenly king, who had broken 6, could break 8. King Kuan, who had broken 6, also broke 8. King Qian and Guardian C, who had broken 6, Did a fool like him really break 6? None of them broke 6. It was hard to say how many times Tian Kuei broke. King Sun and King Zhen were old antiques. Were they really broken 6? Were they really not hiding their strength? Who knew? As for Moon Spirit, she should have broken 6. After all, she had just attained Tao. But it was hard to say. Even Tian Kuei was traumatized. Let me go. No matter how many times they broke, I want to go. I'd better go back to West Emperor Dojo and stay there. I won't come out. What emperor? I don't want to think anymore. What lunatic? Who's the lunatic? Am I crazy? Look at that lunatic. King Kuan beat him until his blood spurted 3,000 feet, and he's still fighting crazily. Am I as crazy as him? Am I as crazy as Fong Ping? That fellow's golden body exploded from the 3 kings' attacks. After one body exploded, another appeared instantly. His mentality self-destructed like it was a game. Am I as crazy as those struggling human peak stage and emperor stage humans? Look, they're all crazy. Some people are working together to attack that escaping saint. Earth Guardian Tian Kuei, War King and the other lunatics are working together to kill that divine sex saint, the ancient saint. They killed until the ground was covered in blood. This world is full of lunatics. Only I'm not. Zhang Tao glanced at him and smiled. You go. If Tian Kuei can escape, then open it. If he can't, it won't open. We won't let Hong Yu and the rest leave. Tianji's face was full of despair when he heard that. It's obviously hopeless if I go with them now. The humans will only open it if Tian Kuei can escape quickly. If Tian Kuei can escape slowly, they're afraid that Hong Yu and the rest will cause big trouble. The humans will not open it. In that case, the probability of opening it is not high. Even if it is opened, he's still behind Hong Yu and the rest. How can he leave? Zhang Tao suddenly laughed maniacally. Go. Where do you think you're going? This place is a tomb. A fake heavenly grave is also a real heavenly grave. Even if it wasn't in the past, it is now. If you want to play, then play until you die. If 8 or 10 heavenly kings don't die, none of you can leave. Zhang Tao roared. He broke through the air and charged toward Fong Ping, and the rest at top speed. Let the world be dyed red with blood, the enemies and their own. More than 50 human peak stage powerhouses fought until today. Even if Fang Ping and Tian Mu came later, including Wu Chuan and Zhao Xingwu who broke through earlier, there were less than 30 people left. More than half of them were dead or injured. Under such circumstances, who could leave? If they had to die, then they should all die here. With the determination to die, Zhang Tao charged out. Li Zhu, King Zhen, King Sun. So what if there were 3 kings? He still had tricks up his sleeves. At this moment, the Tao roared. He wanted to merge with Fang Ping's Tao. He wanted to help Fang Ping connect the Tao and kill the heavenly kings. Kill until the 3 realms were terrified, even more terrified. Let's see how many powerhouses you have to be killed. How many deaths is enough? At this moment, a Tao pierced through heaven and earth. A shadow was projected and went straight toward Fang Ping. Brat, hang in there. There are still humans here. There are still people who haven't been killed. Li Zhen, Jiang Tianming, what kind of saint are you trying to kill? Come over here and merge with this Tao. Break the sky and kill all these bastards. This shout reverberated in all directions. In the next moment, Li Zhen and the rest's vitality shot up to the sky and connected as one. They did not even look at Tianbai and rushed toward Fang Ping. Tianbai's face was livid. He hesitated for a moment and turned to run. He was really crazy. The powerhouses from all sides had joined forces to drive the humans crazy. All the powerhouses of the human race had gone crazy. They actually wanted all the powerhouses of the human race to merge with Fang Ping. Weren't they afraid that Fang Ping would explode? Weren't they afraid that Fang Ping would explode directly? Weren't they afraid that Fang Ping would be killed after merging with Tao, and the human race would decline completely without a true God? Yes, they had nothing to be afraid of. Tianbai's thoughts were suddenly complicated. What was there to be afraid of? They had already killed to this point. There was really nothing to be afraid of. At this moment, in all directions, there were not many people, but vitality covered heaven and earth. Someone roared, "Today, Fang Ping will be the king of the human race. Merge with Tao, kill the enemies everywhere, and wash the 3 realms with blood. Honor Fang Ping as the king, kill the enemies everywhere, and continue Tao." Heaven and earth trembled. Their hearts were chilled. When those Tao appeared, everyone's heart was chilled. What kind of courage could make these dozens of top powerhouses of the human race willingly merge with one person, fulfill one person, and kill the enemies everywhere? Heaven and earth trembled, and a rain of blood poured. At this moment, this scene caused everyone to be moved. Previously, there were 6 near emperor-level Tao merging Zhang Tao. Now, all the powerhouses of the human race wanted to merge, with Tao merging with Fang Ping. Were these people really not afraid of death? Merging with Tao would lead to death. Continue Tao. Kill the enemies everywhere. When those mournful roars came, even the heavenly kings felt a chill from the bottom of their hearts. What was wrong with the human race? They were only killing Fang Ping and the other prodigies. Did these people not understand? They did not say that they must destroy the human race. Why did this happen? Was it really worth it to give up tens of millions of years of life just like that? Ha ha! A hearty laugh rang through heaven and earth again. Fang Ping laughed. His flesh was obliterated again, and again his mentality was blown up again and again, but he was still laughing. Laughing wantonly. Did you see that? Were you afraid? So what if you were powerful? Could you destroy everything just because you were powerful? Could you destroy our fighting spirit just because you were powerful? We were born to fight. Fight the enemies everywhere. Kill the enemies everywhere. Chapter 1207. Merging with Fang Ping. Help King Ren. In an instant, The remaining less than 30 peerless powerhouses moved toward Fangping one after another. Merging with Dao, powerhouses were not considered powerful here. However, at this moment, everyone's hearts were shaken. Which era had such a heroic scene? The powerhouses of a race were dying. In the next second, King Sun roared, "Kill! Kill all of them!" Merging with Dao, who gave them the chance to merge with Dao. They could not imagine what kind of monster Fangping would be when all the powerhouses of the human race were merged with Dao. That day, Zhang Tao merged with 6 near-emperor powerhouses and finally reached the level of Ancient Saint. His strength had increased a lot. However, Zhang Tao's strength was far from Fangping's now. Moreover, Zhang Tao was a heavenly king powerhouse. It was hard for them to imagine. Breaking 7? Or even stronger? Who can you kill? At this moment, Zhang Tao's Dao reached the sky. He stepped through the space, no longer smiling. Now, he was unusually cold. Martial King Zhang Tao. Fangping, neo-martial artists killed their way out. Don't forget your original intention. Settle the 3 realms. They don't have the right to do so. It should be us neo-martial artists. Before he finished speaking, Li Zhu threw a punch. Zhang Tao roared. His Dao condensed into a saber and slashed down. With a loud bang, heaven and earth roared. Zhang Tao took a few steps back. Li Zhu's fist was bleeding. At this moment, Zhang Tao's Dao appeared again and covered Fangping. King Sun and King Zhen attacked. They roared and charged at the Dao. They could not let them merge with Dao. It's hard to live, but easy to die. Can you stop me? Zhang Tao laughed and shouted. Fangping, enter my origin and merge with my Dao. Kill them. It was not easy to stop them from merging with Dao. Dao was formless and origin was the most mysterious. They could not be stopped. At this moment, Fangping had regained his physical body. His eyes were dim and he laughed strangely. I've wanted to see your Dao for a long time. You just had to stop me. Old thing, if you die, I'll avenge you. Blood tears fell. In the blink of an eye, Fangping's golden body was destroyed again. However, Fangping had already dispersed his origin and disappeared. Zhang Tao's body shook slightly. He laughed and no longer fought the 3 head-on. He flew towards the human powerhouses. Li Zhu, the 2 heavenly kings, roared angrily. How could an expert with broken 7 only have this bit of strength? Even Zhang Tao couldn't stop him. Li Zhu was still hiding. What did he want? Li Zhu's eyes flickered slightly. Then he shouted, "Let's go into his origin together. Destroy his origin, kill them all." In the origin battle, as long as one's mind power was strong enough, they could pull their opponent into their own origin. Experts of the mental energy, Dao, loved to drag others into a battle with their origins. Destroying their origins was more direct than destroying the physical body or spiritual sense. However, Li Zhu did not dare to enter alone. He was afraid that something might go wrong. The origins of sovereign personages and martial kings were somewhat special. Xiao Chun had noticed this long ago. If he really entered, something might happen. However, since the 3 kings were here, they would join forces to kill them. The moment he said that, the 2 heavenly kings hesitated for a moment. In an instant, the 2 of them gritted their teeth and shouted, "Enter the source and kill it." In the next moment, the 3 powerhouses roared, and their source chi erupted. Enter the origin and fight. Even if Fangping had a lot of tricks up his sleeves, he would still have to die after destroying the 2's origins. At this moment, the War King roared, "Zhang Tao, release the source." "Come on." Zhang Tao roared. His source chi erupted, and an illusory world descended. The War King roared, "Old friends, build the source channel." "Coming." The powerhouses shouted from all directions. Then More than 20 gigantic bridges pierced through the sky from all directions, covering the source world that Zhang Tao had revealed. The War King and the Nether King were the most powerful. A dreamlike bridge instantly landed on the illusory world. At this time, the War King and the Nether King's physical bodies were still in the same place, but their origins instantly passed through the bridge and walked toward Zhang Tao's source world. It was like a dream, neither real nor fake. This was the origin. At this moment, the frequency of the human powerhouses' source chi fluctuations seemed to be somewhat uniform. This was the mystery of the sovereign personages' fusion. Otherwise, it would be difficult to build this channel. In the space battlefield, the heaven-suppressing king roared. Like a primordial Vajra, his fists smashed the world and hammered King Qian. Rumble! The sound of the drum was heard. King Qian was like a leather drum, his internal organs ruptured and his flesh and blood splattered. The sea-suppressing king's sharp claws slashed and grabbed the heaven-suppressing king's head. The sharp claws were like grabbing glass, making a sharp, ear-piercing sound. Sparks scattered in the void, directly igniting the void. Don't fuse the Tao. The heaven-suppressing king roared and roared. If he fused the Tao, the human race would be destroyed. Even if Fang Ping was still alive, was this a world in which a single person could hold up the sky? If it was possible, why would he, the heaven-suppressing king, hide his name for 8,000 years? These people were all seeds of neo-martial arts, the seeds of the human race. Today, the Tao fusion would destroy half of the human race. Ha ha ha. If they don't let us live, then we'll turn the world upside down. Old Li, the human race will be in your hands in the future. Don't fuse the Tao. The heaven-suppressing king roared again and punched a hole through King Qian's chest. Then, he quickly rushed over there. The sea-suppressing king and King Qian were also furious at this moment. The sea-suppressing king snorted coldly and flapped his wings. The void shattered, and a hurricane came, instantly trapping the heaven-suppressing king on the spot. He shouted coldly, "If you don't let me go, then don't leave." The few people present also had their own thoughts. Tao fusion was good. If it was fused, the human race would only have Fang Ping left. Could Fang Ping break 8? Impossible. If that was the case, it was still unknown who would win against the 3 kings. Li Zhu broke 7, and the ancient heaven king of 2 heavens might not have this current strength. The biggest possibility was that the human race would be completely wiped out in the end. One of the 3 kings might die. If they were unlucky, 2 would die. If that happened, there would be countless casualties, but they would not be the ones dying. The space battlefield was already shaking at this moment. After all, it was not the Emperor's origin. Even if the stability of the battlefield was greatly increased after it was transformed, it could not withstand so many powerhouses fighting at this moment. On the other side, the chaotic heavenly king was also bombarding King Kuan crazily. At the same time, he did not forget to pay attention to the human race. He clicked his tongue, a little shocked and emotional. This generation of the human race was so fierce. What was the human world in his generation? The human world was the mortal world. There were martial artists in the human world too, but rank 9 powerhouses were the top powerhouses. It was rare for a true god to appear, but they also left the human world and went to the land realm. The human world was just a place of the mortal world. Powerhouses disdained to go there. In that era, when the powerhouses of the human world went to the land realm, they would quickly find a force to rely on and seek refuge with. Otherwise, there was no guarantee that they would be killed one day. The chaotic heavenly king did not expect to see such a group of people when he reappeared less than 6,000 years later. They were 2F** King Savage. Each of them did not look too old. Among them, There were a few who gave him the feeling that they were not even 100 years old, but they were as savage as ancient devils. No, even ancient devils were not as savage as them. The so-called ancient devils, the heavenly hound, right? The sea guardian, right? These humans and demons were infamous in the ancient times. But in comparison, they were not as savage as these humans. Their murderous aura could almost pierce through the world. While the chaotic, heavenly king lamented, he did not care much. Who cares? He was not going to kill himself. If those people died, there would be one less. Perhaps he could pick up some benefits. When the time came, he could pick up some bones and see if he could forge divine weapons. At the same time, Tian Kuei, who was escaping with the 9 emperor seals, looked back and was also shocked. While he was shocked, he felt helpless. Could Zhang Tao and the others still open the door under such circumstances? Did they have to wait until they were dead? If they were really dead, perhaps he could keep the heaven confining bell. But he was afraid that the people behind him would catch up to them before they died. At that moment, Hongyu, who was chasing after them, also looked back. He quickly shifted his gaze to Tian Kuei and said coldly, "Tian Kuei, hand over the 9 emperor seals." "Ha!" Tian Kuei sneered. Was he afraid of Hongyu? Of course not. When he was appointed as the leader of the 36 sages, he did not like King Kuan and provoked him many times. He was not a kind person. He was the one who started the fight between the 36 sages and the 8 kings. Back then, Hongyu was still a little brother. At that moment, Tian Kuei had something to rely on. He suddenly took out a sage's token and shouted, 36 sages, gather. Follow me to kill the enemies and restore the reputation of the great sage. Sage's token, Tian Kuei's token. In ancient times, once an order was issued, no matter which faction the 36 sages belonged to, they would obey it. There were quite a number of 36 sages here. Other than the 3 from the divine sect, there were 4 independent 36 sages who entered at that moment, including the one who was robbed by Fong Ping. His expression became excited. The first sage had returned. The first sage who led them to fight the 8 kings, led the heavenly court's army, and swept through the world had returned. Heavenly secrets, return. Heavenly courage, return. At that moment, the 4 sages of the 4 directions roared. The ancient sages had returned. They had enough of this God-forsaken place. Even the sages were in a precarious situation. Even the ancient sages, like them, had to face life-threatening situations. Now that the first sage had returned, he would restore the prestige of the ancient 36 sages. The great sages of the 4 directions broke through the air and arrived. 3 sages' tokens also flew over from 3 directions. The other person's sage's token was taken by Fong Ping. His expression was a little dark, but he did not care. A wave of Genesis chi descended. At that moment, in the sky, the 4 directions cosmos descended, sealing off the world. Tian Kuei also roared. His chi erupted, and an energy-light pillar shook the sky. Boom! A loud noise was heard. Tian Kuei's chi shot into the sky. In the void, a white lotus bloomed with 7 petals. Hongyu, who do you think you are? 4 sages killed Tianji and Tianming. Yes, sir. 4 sages roared, their eyes filled with excitement. Who did the 2nd king think he was? Back when they intimidated everyone, the 2nd king was just a small fry. Now, they dared to chase after the 1st sage. How dare they? For sages quickly suppressed the 2nd king. This time, Tian Kuei did not run. He turned and attacked Hongyu. Behind him, Moon Spirit stopped in her tracks. Behind her, Tian Kuei was stupefied. I knew it. It's just a flower with 7 petals. If you have the guts, grow 8 petals. Then I'll consider you powerful. Do you want to surprise me if you don't have 8 petals? That's impossible. Tian Kuei suddenly realized that he was in a good mood. At a time like this, he was still in the mood. He teased from behind. Hongyu, why don't you have 7 petals too? Moon Spirit, can you have 7 petals? If you can, I'll consider you powerful. Moon Spirit glanced at him, then turned and ignored him. Childish. Tian Kuei sneered. You can't, right? War broke out everywhere. At this time, in Zhang Tao's source world, this was the first time Fang Ping entered old Zhang's source world. He had entered once before. In the end, he was kicked out by old Zhang the moment he entered. That time, he did not see much. He only saw a bright path. Today, Fang Ping saw even more. World. Bookshelves. Rows of bookshelves were lined up in old Zhang's source world. Fang Ping sighed in his heart. Old Zhang was indeed the minister. He was in charge of education. The source world had actually integrated bookshelves. This was slightly beyond his expectations. A knowledgeable person. No wonder his strength improved so quickly. It was still helpful for cultured people to practice martial arts. Fang Ping glanced at it casually. In the next moment, his body froze slightly. Fang Ping's Dark History, Wuchuan's 2 and 3 Incidents for Emperor's 8 Diagrams collection, 9 Emperor's Miscellaneous Talks, Martial King's Struggle History. Fang Ping glanced at it, dumbfounded. At this time, he had even forgotten about the crisis. What was going on? Was old Zhang crazy? What was he thinking, fusing all these messy things into the source world? But then again, why did he suddenly want to flip through it to see what kind of messy things old Zhang had recorded? At this time, old Zhang also entered quickly. He did not have the mind to care about anything else. He shouted, "Hurry! The source world descends. Motherf asterisk Ker. Integrate the Tao and kill these B asterisk stars." Old Zhang was extremely anxious. Hurry up! The 3 powerhouses joined forces. If they wanted to break into his source now, he could not hold them off for long. Very soon, the 3 of them would break in. When that time came, the source would be destroyed. Naturally, the integration would fail. Once it failed, how could he fight against the 3 kings? Fang Ping did not care so much. At this moment, Fang Ping looked at his source Tao. This time, Fang Ping finally saw it clearly. Yes, 10,000 meters wide. Old Zhang's Tao was really 10,000 meters wide. The source world was like a small staircase. Above the staircase was an extremely wide Tao. The Tao was very long, but at this time, Fang Ping also had time to look at it for a while. This time, he seemed to have seen the end. 70,000 meters? Such data appeared in Fang Ping's mind instantly. The basic vitality was about 550,000 calories. The peak was 550,000 calories. The horizontal increase was 100%. The vertical increase was 260%. In addition to the combat techniques increase, old Zhang's was about the same as his. His maximum outburst was close to 5 million calories. To be able to break 6 meant that after old Zhang killed the saint, his control had improved a lot. His strength had been integrated a little. It was probably close to 90%. In this way, he could break 6. He was not much stronger than Fang Ping. Fang Ping did not care about these anymore. He looked at the figure in the Tao. The figure that occupied the middle of the Tao suddenly felt a little familiar. He could even sense the other party's feelings. That was me? Fang Ping took a look. Very tall. Very domineering, too. He seemed to see a smaller person next to the huge figure. It seemed to be old Zhang's own projection. At this moment, old Zhang himself seemed to have been squeezed away. His territory was occupied by the big figure. Is this me? A strange feeling arose in Fang Ping's heart. Zhang Tao said anxiously again, Hurry up. You enter the middle projection. I'll take the initiative to integrate. It'll be easier for you and me to integrate. His Tao and Fong Ping's actually had a lot of similarities. Moreover, both of them had occupied a part of the other's Tao source. In fact, integrating was easier than others. It was unlike the last time when old Zhang integrated 6 near emperors. He had to spend a lot of time to sort out, integrate, and become one. Previously, Zhang Tao's Tao was only 30,000 meters. He had walked to 70,000 meters in a short time. It had a lot to do with the 6 leaders. It also had a lot to do with the humans becoming stronger. At this moment, Fong Ping looked for a while and said instantly, "If I integrate your Tao, how far can I go? I'm afraid I'll burst. Do you really think I've become a saint? My Tao is only 2,000 meters or so. Can I connect to your Tao? That's so long? Are you trying to burst me?" Zhang Tao was stunned. How long? 2,000 meters or so. So short. He thought that Fong Ping walked fast. Maybe he had reached 10,000 meters. Although he was a little overstuffed, it was not impossible. After all, Fong Ping's mentality was already close to emperor level. It was almost at the boundary of emperor level. But his Tao was only 2,000 meters or so. Connecting to his Tao on a 2,000-meter Tao. Could it be connected? Although the King of Man was special, it was not to this extent. It was possible that Fong Ping would burst. Fong Ping said again, "Also, my Tao is a little troublesome. You might not be compatible with me." Damn it! Zhang Tao was furious. What should he do? They had already come to this point. Why did this bastard Fong Ping not say so earlier? If this went on, they might be wiped out by the 3 kings together and be completely eliminated. At this moment, the 3 kings' silhouettes were already condensing. The 3 kings had begun to break into his origin. "Fong Ping, you bastard. Mother of **, I'm dead. Because of you." Zhang Tao was flustered and exasperated. He had already thrown out harsh words. Now he could not integrate his Tao. Did he want to anger him to death? Fong Ping was not in a hurry. Instead, he looked at old Zhang and said, "At this point, if you can't help me, I'll help you. Whether you kill me or I kill you, it's all the same." Both of them communicated in the source world. The speed was extremely fast. They could communicate with each other almost in the time it took for them to sense each other. "But my Tao is not long. I don't know if I can be of help to you." What? Old Zhang was stunned. What did he mean? "Also, there are some problems with my Tao. I don't know if it can be integrated into your Tao. You want to push the responsibility to me, but I don't want to take it. I'm still a **king, 21-year-old kid. Do you have the nerve to push the responsibility to me? In this world, everyone walks their own Tao. I don't think the so-called Emperor Tao is the Tao that I need to walk. My Tao might not be this Tao. If I can't open up the Emperor Tao, opening up other Tao might not affect me. Maybe it's more suitable for me. Old Zhang, your thinking needs to be improved. If you integrate my Tao, that's an irresponsible act. You're pushing all the pressure on me. It's also an act of avoidance. How can you be a human king like this? A human king and human emperor with this heart is a human king and human emperor. It doesn't mean that one can only be a human king and human emperor with this Tao. Moreover, my Tao won't collapse completely. I won't die if I integrate my Tao. You're different. Fong Ping saw it too. Old Zhang's source world was not small, but it did not seem to cover his Tao. If that was the case, if his Tao was broken, it would really be broken. As for Fong Ping, his Tao was broken, but it was not the root that was broken. Therefore, he should not die. If old Zhang integrated his Tao, there was a 99% chance that he would die. If that was the case, of course, it would not be old Zhang, who integrated his Tao. It would be old Zhang who integrated his Tao. When old Zhang mentioned merging the Tao, Fang Ping actually had a plan. He was afraid that if he integrated his Tao, old Zhang would not improve much. When that time came, his combat strength would drop greatly while old Zhang did not become too strong. This would damage the strength of humans instead. My Tao is nearly 10,000 meters wide. It might not only extend old Zhang's Tao for 2,000 meters. I'm walking the Emperor Tao, which is most compatible with old Zhang's Tao. There won't be no special effects at all, right? Fang Ping gritted his teeth in his heart. If old Zhang could extend his Tao for 30,000 meters and truly become a heavenly king, his combat strength would definitely increase greatly. Today, old Zhang's basic vitality was about 550,000 calories. At Emperor level, 10,000 meters increased by 20,000 calories. At 90,000 meters, that would be 590,000 calories. At Heavenly King level, there was another large increase of 100,000 calories. That was close to 700,000 calories of basic vitality, 100% horizontally, 300% vertically. Perhaps it could be expanded more horizontally. In addition to the increase in combat techniques, old Zhang would at least exceed the limit of 7 million calories. But this was not enough. Moreover, whether he could reach 100,000 meters was still a problem. Fang Ping did not care so much. In the next moment, while old Zhang was still in a daze, he quickly rushed into his Tao and shouted, "Are you an idiot? Go and resist the three kings. Hold on for a while." Old Zhang wanted to kick him to death. Was he scolding him? Also, what was this guy trying to do? Who was integrating who? Hurry up, cut the crap. Having said that, Fang Ping threw the god-slaying saber to him and shouted, "With this, the three kings will be at a disadvantage if they come in." There was a rumble. 9 saint orders fell, suppressing the 4 directions, helping old Zhang to consolidate his origin, preventing him from being blown up later. Fang Ping laughed heartily. "In the past, you protected me. Today, I'll protect you. Old man, everything is reasonable." "Bastard, you'll die? I won't. If I really die, you can avenge me. Brother Zhang, please." "What?" Old Zhang did not have time to be surprised by what he called him. In the next moment, the 3 kings entered. At this moment, old Zhang remembered what Fang Ping called him. "Brother Zhang, I'm almost 100 years old. What did you call me?" "Brother Zhang, hold on. When I succeed in integrating, I won't be satisfied if I don't kill a few heavenly kings." Fang Ping roared. His origin chi erupted, sealing the Tao door. At this moment, the 3 kings who had just entered could not see through the origin Tao. The 3 of them still did not know the situation. They thought that Zhang Tao had integrated with Fang Ping. They roared one after another and rushed toward Zhang Tao. Old Zhang held the god-slaying saber in his hand. The 9 saint orders suppressed the void. He was also gritting his teeth. Would Fang Ping die? He did not expect that at this time, Fang Ping would choose him to be the next main attacker. The key point was Fang Ping's Tao was only about 2,000 meters. If he succeeded in integrating, would it really be useful? He was about to explode. Why did this kid have so many problems? At the same time, in the source world, shadows of human powerhouses appeared in all directions. They could not enter the powerhouse's origin. However, old Zhang took the initiative to open it. At this time, the frequency fluctuations were consistent, so they could enter. As soon as they entered, they did not see Fang Ping. They were stunned for a moment. Old Zhang said quickly, "Surround and kill them first. We'll talk about the rest later." He did not know what Fang Ping was going to do. At this point, he could only take it one step at a time. Chapter 12:08. In the origin Tao, Fang Ping's illusion stood proudly in the middle of the Tao, extremely domineering. At the side, old Zhang was almost out of sight from the crowd. Fang Ping could not help but laugh, feeling a little emotional. Li Zhu and the others said that he and old Zhang would have a battle in the end. If this continued, it might come true. At this moment, as he approached the illusion, Fang Ping realized that the illusion seemed to have some connection with him. There was a vague connection. Fang Ping looked at his own illusion, then at old Zhang, and seemed to understand something. If the illusion fuses with old Zhang and breaks his Tao, perhaps the fusion can be completed. Fang Ping closed his eyes and took a gamble. At this moment, he could only do this, hoping that old Zhang could successfully fuse. As for himself, if the origin Tao was broken, his strength should decline a little, but it did not matter. Fang Ping was already prepared. After refining 3 saint tokens, the origin world might be like Tsang Mao, no longer covering the Tao and moving forward directly. At this moment, he had a total of 12 saint tokens in his hands, but he had not refined the 3 that he had just snatched. If the Tao is broken, maybe I can open up a new Tao. There might not be a problem. Fang Ping stopped thinking about it and kicked away old Zhang, who was blocking the way. Don't block the way. I have something to do. In the next moment, Fang Ping stepped into the body of the giant illusion. At this moment, he had a strange feeling. It was very special. In this illusion, he seemed to be able to feel old Zhang's Tao, even feel that he could control old Zhang's Tao. The effect of Emperor Tao, it was too special. Fang Ping never thought that his own illusion would appear in someone else's Tao, and the moment he walked in, he actually felt that he could control this 70,000 meters long Tao. Unfortunately, it's only a weak influence. Fang Ping was a little regretful. This Tao was not omnipotent. Otherwise, the current him controlling old Zhang's Tao, directly adding to the origin Tao, with his foundation, would be much stronger than old Zhang. He would be a top-notch powerhouse without Tao fusion. However, his control only felt that he could control old Zhang a little. It was fine to affect old Zhang, but it could not enhance himself. Then let's fuse. Fang Ping no longer delayed. Time was tight outside. Even if old Zhang held the god-slaying saber and suppressed the world with 9 saint tokens, he could not possibly be a match for the 3 kings. If this went on, old Zhang might not die, but the humans' top powerhouses would probably die. Fang Ping's origin chi erupted. In the next moment, a small path penetrated through the great path. It was beyond imagination. Fang Ping's Tao directly penetrated old Zhang's Tao and entered it. Human sovereign, human king, this was the difference between the two. Fang Ping's path was shorter and narrower than old Zhang's. The moment Fang Ping's Tao entered, there was a rumble, and old Zhang's Tao began to tremble. Fang Ping's expression was solemn. He steered the apparition forward swiftly. Behind him, his own great Tao was also moving forward. Behind them, old Zhang's apparition followed the road and walked forward. Fang Ping turned his head to take a look and suddenly laughed out loud. "Old Zhang, can you not stare at me like I'm a thief? Stay where you are and don't move." Zhang Tao, who was fighting outside the passageway, could not help cursing. He sent King Sun flying with a saber strike, and his origin body scattered. King Sun and King Zhen weren't without weapons either. At this moment, both of them had heavenly king seals in their hands. However, the heavenly king seals were a little difficult to control. After being slashed by the demon emperor, old Zhang had already been slightly injured. Now that he had entered this place, old Zhang's source energy still contained the sovereign Tao's aura. Now, the heavenly king seal was greatly suppressed. This was Zhang Tao's home ground, and they were fighting using their source energy. Their only weapon, the heavenly king seal, was ineffective. Li Zhu was also fighting with his fists, so he was at a disadvantage. At this moment, King Zhen said angrily, "I will go out and destroy their physical bodies. Li Zhu, if you don't give it your all, rumble." A loud noise could be heard. Zhang Tao was sent flying with a saber strike. He shouted, "You want to leave after coming in? If you don't destroy this world, don't even think about leaving." Since the three of them had come in, he did not plan to let them leave immediately. As for Li Zhu, his expression changed. For a moment, he seemed to be hesitating. He had the Thousand Worlds Cauldron. This was also a special weapon that could enter the source and suppress it. However, if he used the Thousand Worlds Cauldron now, there might be some changes. The Thousand Worlds Cauldron was very powerful. Once he entered it, he might be able to suppress the 9 sage tokens. If that was the case, it would be much easier to destroy Zhang Tao's source world. While Li Zhu was still hesitating, at this moment, at the side of the battlefield, a loud noise could be heard coming from the giant door. Inside the Origin Dao, Fang Ping made up his mind. When he reached the end of the Dao, his shadow suddenly shattered and merged into the darkness. At this moment, there seemed to be a path opening in the darkness, but it was not obvious. Fang Ping's origin qi was rapidly dispersing. Fang Ping used his wealth points to recover. It was not easy to connect the Dao. If it was someone else, they might not be able to quickly connect it. Just like last time, when the 6 near emperors fused, old Zhang could only forcefully wrap them up. But now, Fang Ping was helping old Zhang all the way. He used a large amount of origin qi to help old Zhang stabilize the path. "There's no one else who can do what I do." Fang Ping sighed. "This is considered after-sales service. I even helped old Zhang stabilize the Dao." At this moment, the Dao behind him began to extend forward. Fang Ping made up his mind again. Break. Boom. At this moment, it seemed like the entire source universe was shaking. From the outside, at this moment, Fang Ping's star and old Zhang's star were almost next to each other. Fang Ping's star was not small to begin with, but now it was collapsing and shrinking rapidly. Outside, Fang Ping's golden body collapsed again. Large amounts of origin qi started dispersing. Heaven and earth roared. At this time, the reaction was not much worse than the death of a saint or even a heavenly king. The movement was huge, and this was just a fracture. But this kind of fracture seemed a little unusual. In Fang Ping's source world, the shadows retreated from the path and returned to Fang Ping's source world, retreating to Sun City and MCMAU. The golden star was collapsing. At this time, in the space battlefield, the few powerhouses battle paused for a moment. Heavenly King Zhen's expression changed drastically. Did it really fuse? This did not seem to be the movement of Zhang Tao's death. They could still sense Zhang Tao's qi dynamic. It seemed to be Fang Ping's. No, they could not sense Fang Ping's qi dynamic. So whether it was Fang Ping or not, they were not sure. But now, Fang Ping's golden body outside suddenly began to collapse. Around him, large amounts of origin qi overflowed, creating a scene of origin qi in all directions. King Kuan was also slightly stunned. Then he shouted, "Divine Church, listen up. Go and kill the human martial artist's flesh. Destroy Fang Ping's flesh." King Kuan roared. Having said that, King Kuan suddenly laughed. Fang Ping, Dao fusing Zhang Tao. Fang Ping actually turned it around and chose Dao fusing Zhang Tao. Was Fang Ping's Dao very strong? They still had some understanding of this. At most, it was 10,000 meters. Would this kind of continuation of Dao help Zhang Tao? They were afraid of Zhang Tao Dao fusing Fang Ping because Fang Ping's foundation was too strong. 9 forging golden body, the quality of vitality changed. After Dao fusing, if the increase was too great, Fang Ping would be terrifyingly strong. That was why they were worried. But Fang Ping Dao fusing Zhang Tao, was not so scary. Zhang Tao did not change qualitatively. What were the humans thinking? What were Fang Ping and Zhang Tao thinking? However, soon he could not laugh anymore. At this moment, heaven and earth seemed to be split open. Dao roared. Tens of thousands of Dao appeared, and blood rained down. Even he himself trembled slightly at this moment. His expression changed drastically, and he could not help but exclaim, "Imperial Dao! No, it's impossible! Imperial Dao was broken?" Just as he exclaimed, the big movement caused by Fang Ping did not stop. The sky was split open. Fang Ping's Dao was not considered powerful, only more than 2,000 meters. But at this time, even the sky was cracking. 3 realms, heavenly kings and saints fell, and the blood rain did not stop. However, soon everyone realized that something was wrong. The sky was cracking open. Blood rained down. At this moment, all the powerhouses walked out. The alternate world space where the God creation envoy was, heaven and earth were cracking open. The God creation envoy's expression changed slightly, and he murmured, "Imperial fall." No, someone with the qualifications to become an emperor died. Who? Who died? The qualifications to become an emperor. The 3 realms was changing. At this moment, all the powerhouses were shocked. Even when a heavenly king fell, there was not such a big movement. At this moment, the sky was cracking open. Who died? The strongest powerhouse, or something else? At this moment, all the humans suddenly felt empty, as if they had lost something. Sun City, countless people walked out of their homes. Let the blood rain pour down. Some raised their heads to look at the sky. Some had blank eyes. Empty. What was wrong? The weak did not understand, but the powerhouses seemed to have sensed something. Sun City's commander, rank 9 powerhouse Zhang Peng, suddenly burst into tears. Dead. Who was the one who died? Fang Ping. How was that possible? The human race's myth, legend, this generation's human king, had died in battle. Zhang Peng's tears evaporated quickly. No, it was impossible. It was impossible. It could not be told. Human King Fang Ping had died in battle. Once this news spread, the 3 realms would be in turmoil, and the human race would soon suffer an unprecedented blow. It was impossible. It could not be Fang Ping. How could Fang Ping die? However, but today, 2 heavenly kings had died. Who knew how many powerhouses had died? McMao. Wu Quishan's face was pale. Pale as a corpse. Was this Fang Ping? No way. He was a legend. He was an undefeated legend. He would not die. However, why did this great Dao collapse suddenly feel like something was missing? What was going on? On the other side, a cat opened its eyes again. The sadness had not disappeared. At this moment, the cat's eyes were tired and doubtful. In the next moment, the cat fell asleep. It wanted to take a look. The swindler's Dao seemed to be broken. How could this be? His Dao was broken by someone? The cat did not think that Fang Ping was dead. Fang Ping's source world had already taken shape. Even if the great Dao was broken, he would not die so easily. However, this time, the movement was huge. This meant that the swindler's Dao had been broken. In all directions, the 3 realms and the sea of misery, powerhouses walked out, looking up at the sky, their eyes blank. Who died? The top powerhouses could vaguely feel that the great Dao that was broken this time was definitely extremely important. Perhaps it was a powerhouse who had set foot on the imperial path, in the void where the heavenly cemetery was. Even in 9th heaven, at this moment, they saw the sky crack and the darkness receding. The cat guard captain looked at the vast starry sky and the huge crack. The crack did not really exist. It was just a reflection. However, at this moment, The catguard captain was still shocked. A great Tao has collapsed. If it's not an ultimate great Tao, then the great Tao of a powerhouse who had a chance to step into the Emperor realm has collapsed. Who is it? Ha ha ha. At this moment, on the mainland in front, someone laughed out loud. The Tao of the origin is wrong in the first place. Even such a powerhouse's great Tao has collapsed. Looks like the three realms is going to be in chaos. Tengu roared, and then he could not help but look up at the sky. Very quickly, he began to sense the origin again. He cursed. Who died? Why didn't I sense it? I did sense unquestionable Jian's death, but who is it? As he spoke, he looked at the catguard captain and asked curiously, if it's not the fall of an ultimate powerhouse, then is it the death of an Imperial Path successor? It should be. The catguard captain's expression was not very good, and he was slightly regretful. What a pity. I wonder who died. I'm afraid that person has already set foot in the Imperial Path, but he actually died. Tengu thought for a while and muttered, it can't be that kid, right? Who? The current Wang Fangping. Tengu raised his huge dog head, and the expression in his eyes changed. Is it really him? When I saw him that day, I vaguely sensed an Imperial Path aura, but it wasn't obvious. If it's not an ultimate powerhouse, then it is very likely to be him. If it's Zhang Tao, you and I should be able to sense it. Zhang Tao was also a heavenly king. Once he died, the origin universe would not be peaceful. Right now, there was not much movement in the origin universe. This meant that the person who died should be below the heavenly king level. When a saint died, they would more or less sense it. This meant that perhaps the other party was not even a saint, and such a person might have set foot in the Imperial Path. If it was not Fang Ping, who else could it be? The cat guard captain's expression was complicated. The person that the cat has been following? Yes. Sigh. A sigh resounded in all directions. The cat guard captain shook his head. What a pity, what a pity. Dead. This was a successor who had set foot in the Imperial Path. He died just like that. Even if he did not die, his Tao had collapsed. And if his Tao had collapsed, could he still live? If he really lived, he would be a cripple. Maybe his flesh was still there, and it was still considered powerful. But if his flesh was powerful without the origin, could he walk the path of beginner martial arts? The few powerhouses' expressions changed. Fang Ping was dead. The human race's most promising Imperial Path seed was dead deep in the Forbidden Sea. A floating corpse trembled slightly and suddenly opened its eyes. An indescribably complicated expression appeared on Feng's face. Dead. Fang Ping was dead. He was indeed an Imperial Path seed. What a pity! If he had known earlier. Feng sighed softly and quickly closed his eyes. As the water continued to flow, the three realms became more and more complicated. In the fake sky grave, at this moment, the heavens and earth were collapsing. No one was in the mood to fight. Everyone's expression was complicated. This was a gathering place for powerhouses. Hongyu stopped moving, looking at the sky. He seemed to be crying and laughing at the same time. He murmured, I've been pursuing it for 8,000 years, and it was within my reach. But today, someone took the initiative to sever this Tao. Ha ha! Hongyu laughed loudly. His laughter was incomparably desolate. What they had been pursuing, others did not even think about it. They took the Tao themselves. The real Imperial Path. Hongyu sighed, indescribably sorrowful. Opposite him, Tian Chief's expression was also complicated. In his hand, the 9 Emperor seal was trembling as if it was crying. The real Imperial Path. Many people wanted to kill Fang Ping and Zhang Tao. Wasn't that the reason? Wasn't that what they were afraid of? Now, it had become true. Fang Ping had really embarked on the imperial path. But Fang Ping was determined. At this moment, he had given up this Tao to heaven. Was Fang Ping dead? They did not know, but they all knew that from today onwards, there might be one less true peerless prodigy in the world. Human Emperor Fang Ping. At the same time, outside ninth heaven, above the gigantic, immortal source, a gigantic meridian ruptured abruptly, blood-splattered, dyeing ninth heaven red. At this moment, an extremely powerful mentality swept over. Very quickly, a second, third, there was no sound. The mentality just watched quietly, watching the rupture of the meridian. Beside the meridian, a gigantic blood-red meridian was growing, faintly discernible. The imperial path seed had ruptured the Tao. It was as if a king was rising. A sigh was heard. In the blink of an eye, all the mentality retreated and disappeared without a trace. Something unforeseen had happened. Source world. In old Zhang's Tao, Fang Ping's silhouette was also collapsing. His origin chi was gushing out continuously. His essence star was on the verge of collapsing. From the source universe, one could only see the white strip surrounding the origin star. The moment his Tao ruptured, Fang Ping completely knew how painful it was to rupture a Tao. At this time, he was in a daze. He instinctively used origin chi to repair his origin. At the same time, a large amount of origin chi gushed out, constantly merging his broken Tao and old Zhang's Tao. Rumble! The Tao trembled. Old Zhang's Tao seemed to have absorbed too much nutrition. At this time, it was constantly extending forward at an extremely fast speed. On Fang Ping's broken Tao, wisps of golden aura were absorbed by old Zhang's Tao. Every time it absorbed a wisp, it would open up some distance forward. It was not continuing. Instead, it was absorbing, merging, and digesting. The Tao was extending and widening. The 70,000 meters Tao was extending at a very fast speed. On Fang Ping's broken Tao, not only did aura fuse in 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters, the Tao was spreading. Fang Ping's origin chi was being consumed rapidly, providing energy and foundation for the spreading Tao. At this time, in the Tao, a large number of shadows suddenly appeared. A lot of them. These shadows were also overflowing with origin chi. In the next second, these shadows walked forward one after another and began to help old Zhang clear the way. As for Fang Ping's shadow, it had completely collapsed at this time, and Fang Ping's shadow could no longer be found. Fang Ping sobered up a little and suddenly laughed, saying weakly, "Old man, you probably beat me up a lot. Now, I'll let you beat me up. According to the myths, I've jumped out of the 3 realms and not in the 5 elements. You, the emperor and king, can't control me anymore." Fang Ping laughed softly. His origin body trembled, became illusory, and collapsed, and the Tao was still continuing to spread. Fang Ping's Tao was also gradually shrinking, as if it had been digested a lot. 80,000 meters, 90,000 meters, it was similar to what Fang Ping had expected. His Tao was really different. Old Zhang was originally a king Tao. In fact, it was also considered a kind of branch. At this moment, it was extremely compatible, as if it had received some kind of supplement. The difficulty of opening up was greatly reduced, and it expanded rapidly. Fang Ping did not care anymore. He condensed a large amount of origin chi and threw it into the darkness casually. Previously, his wealth was more than 78 billion points. Now, in a short period of time, he had consumed more than 10 billion points. Old Zhang seemed to have been hungry for too long. He was extremely gluttonous and had eaten too much of Fang Ping's origin chi. Fang Ping did not care anymore. At this time, Fang Ping felt as if he had gotten rid of some shackles. His injuries were not light. The rupture of the Tao of origin was extremely damaging to him. However, Fong Ping suddenly felt that this might not be a bad thing. Very soon, 3 saint tokens appeared in his hand. These were the 3 that he had just snatched. Fong Ping's gaze flickered slightly. Take the opportunity now and try refining. Previously, he had been refining, but he had not completed it completely. My emperor path has been broken. Is the saint token still useful to me now? Fong Ping was still a little perturbed. He felt that the reason it was useful to him previously might be because he was walking on the Tao, but now, that's not right. Now I'm developing without limits, and I've even covered a part of the emperor path. I think it should be more comprehensive. It should still be possible, right? Fong Ping, who was not too sure, did not care much. The current him, his strength had declined too much. Wealth, 68 billion points vitality, 1,500,000 calories, 1,720,000 calories per 1,500,000 calories. Mentality, 18,999 hertz, 20,000 hertz per 18,999 hertz. Source world, 160 meters combat techniques, god-slaying sword techniques, plus 9%, combat techniques combination deduction, 1 million points / time strength control, 90% limit outburst, 1687320 cal / 1874800 cal. Interesting. Without the increment, Fong Ping's strength declined greatly. However, the current Fong Ping discovered something. His strength control had skyrocketed a lot. It had reached 90% directly. This had never happened before. Fong Ping suddenly had some understanding. He understood. After all, the origin increment was an external strength, not his own. It was too difficult to control. But now, his strength was all his own. Fong Ping suspected that after adapting for a period of time, he might be able to control 100% of his strength, an outburst of less than 7 million calories could fight a powerhouse who had just achieved Emperor Realm. The gap between him and a saint and a heavenly king was too big. Moreover, because of the continuous explosions of his golden body, it was difficult for him to achieve an outburst of 7 million calories. His vitality had stopped at 5 million calories, which meant that Fong Ping still needed to hone his physique again. But I feel like heaven and earth are clear now. This is considered beginner martial arts, right? No, it's different from beginner martial arts. My source world is still here. Fong Ping felt it. He felt his source world, felt the existence of Sun City and MCMAU. He realized that he might still be able to contact humans. What a special feeling. Fong Ping quickly refined the 3 saint tokens. At this time, Fong Ping realized that the refining speed was very fast, not the slightest bit slower than before. This meant that the saint tokens were still very compatible with him. Interesting. This is too interesting. Maybe I should try to see if I can replace an Emperor Tao. If Emperor Tao can give me another increment, even if it's only temporary, it'll be amazing. Fong Ping suddenly had an idea. There was an Emperor Tao in the origin realm. Should he try to replace an Emperor Tao? He did not have any Tao now. His physique was strong enough to withstand an Emperor Tao. If he replaced an Emperor Tao, would there be an Emperor-level increment? If so, then he could restore his peak combat strength once again. Maybe I can use the Tao in the origin realm as a one-time consumable. At most, it'll just collapse. I don't care. Fong Ping swallowed. If that was the case, then it would be really awesome. He could break free from the restrictions of Tao and use the origin Tao again. Maybe this was the real fusion of beginner martial arts and the origin. Just as Fong Ping was thinking, Zhang Tao roared crazily outside. Warlord, and the others were also roaring crazily. Fong Ping, Brat, you be *starred. How dare you die? Fong Ping. Cries of grief and indignation resounded everywhere. Fong Ping rolled his eyes. Go ahead and cry. I can't be bothered with you. Chapter 1209. While Fong Ping was refining the 3 saint tokens, Zhang Tao's roar came from outside. His body of origin suddenly grew stronger. Damn it, all of you! You forced Fong Ping to his death and destroyed the hope of humanity. You all deserve to die. Zhang Tao's body of origin grew stronger rapidly. The path was rumbling, the width was widening, and the length was extending. Zhang Tao's aura grew stronger and stronger, but the 3 kings were hesitating. The extremely talented Fong Ping was dead. He broke the path and helped Zhang Tao. Now Zhang Tao's strength seemed to be exploding. Should they continue to fight? Seeing that the 2 kings were about to retreat, Li Zhu suddenly shouted, "Kill them!" Now that Fong Ping is dead, it won't end until he's dead. No one can avoid the humans' revenge. They forced the hope of humanity to death. They forced Fong Ping, who had the potential to become a monarch, to die. Would Zhang Tao and the others let it go? At this moment, it was not a matter of whether they gave up or not. It was that humanity would never let it go. Although the 2 kings knew this, they were still confused when they saw Zhang Tao getting stronger and stronger. They had forced Fong Ping, who was the most talented among them, to die before paying too much of a price. If they continued to fight Zhang Tao, they might die. Kill. The 3 kings no longer hesitated. With a roar, their bodies of origin collapsed one after another. Seeing this, Zhang Tao shouted, "Go!" "Fusion," Warlord shouted. "If so, we will fuse with you and kill these animals." "Fuse with you." Silence fell. Warlord was stunned. Why are you scolding me?" "Revenge." "Kill the enemy." "Fong Ping fused with you. If we continue to fuse with you, won't you become stronger?" "Why are you scolding me?" He had chosen Fong Ping before. Now he had no choice but to choose old Zhang. Who else could he choose? Zhang Tao ignored him. He cursed in his heart. "I feel like I've eaten too much. How did Fong Ping fuse with me?" He felt that his energy source was about to explode. What did this kid feed my Tao? How much energy source did he feed it? At this moment, old Zhang's body trembled slightly. Outside, a ray of light suddenly appeared in the sky that had just been torn apart. At this time, a path to the heavens appeared. The great Tao was spreading. The origin universe was in an uproar. Everyone was dazzled by what they saw. What was happening now? "Heavenly King," suddenly someone said in a low voice. At the next moment, in the space battlefield, King Kuan was even more shocked. Heavenly King transformation. Zhang Tao is not a heavenly king. He used to be a sage. Battle prowess was battle prowess, and realms were realms. Previously, Zhang Tao hadn't even reached Heavenly King realm, and his great Tao hadn't even reached 100,000 meters. But now he had truly reached the Heavenly King realm, and at the same time possessed the battle prowess of a heavenly king. Possessing the battle prowess of a heavenly king was nothing to be afraid of. However, without the Heavenly King realm, he had the battle prowess of a heavenly king. This was extremely terrifying. At their level, the stronger their foundation was, the greater their potential, and the more chances they had to become stronger. Like Fong Ping, King Wu was one of the best. The current Zhang Tao had truly stepped into the Heavenly King realm. In the origin universe, a giant star erupted with golden light that illuminated all directions. In the outside world, a great path extended to the heavens. Soon, a rumbling sound could be heard as it pierced through the sky, connecting to the endless darkness. Heavenly King Zhang Tao. It was only at this moment that one could say that he was a true Heavenly King powerhouse. He's a Heavenly King. The celestial pole felt like crying. A guy who had broken 6, he was not a Heavenly King. Now that he had really stepped into the Heavenly King realm, did this mean that he had now become the weakest Heavenly King? Because the previous Zhang Tao was actually weaker than him. But now, the other party had advanced. At this moment, Zhang Tao's flesh erupted with a powerful glow. His flesh was honing, and his vitality was erupting. Zhang Tao, who had the combat prowess of a heavenly king at 70,000 meters, had improved his foundation by too much, close to 150,000 calories of basic peak vitality increase. The moment he achieved Heavenly King, old Zhang's basic vitality reached 1. 4,000,000 calories of rank 9. It was much stronger than before. The increase of the Great Path was also an unimaginable increase. Vertical 100,000 meters, an increase of 300%. Horizontal. A long time ago, the width of old Zhang's Great Path had reached 10,000 meters, but it had not improved much. This time, with the integration of Fang Ping's Tao, the horizontal was also expanding wildly. 15,000 meters, a horizontal 150% increase, a 450% increase, and the combat techniques increase. At this moment, Zhang Tao's limit was extremely close to 8 million calories. It had not reached the point of breaking 7, but it was much stronger than at the beginning. The integration of Fang Ping's Emperor Tao did not reach breaking 7. At this time, King Kuan and the others also sensed it, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it was not breaking 7. However, after thinking about it carefully, all of their expressions turned ugly. He had just achieved Heavenly King and was about to break 7. How long had the other party cultivated? Among them, even Li Zhu, who cultivated the fastest, had lived for 3,000 years. King Kuan suddenly shouted, "Li Zhu, he's about to break 7. Kill him with all your might. You talk too much." At this time, the chaotic Heavenly King roared, punching him in the cheek, scolding, "You keep talking nonsense when you're fighting me. Do you really think I'm made of mud?" King Kuan was caught off guard by his sudden outburst. His face exploded. King Kuan was furious. He could no longer care about that side. With a slash of his sword, the chaotic Heavenly King was sent flying. Flustered and exasperated, he broke through the air and chased after the other party. He had enough of these lunatics. He didn't break 7? At this time, old Zhang felt a little regretful. Fang Ping felt a little regretful. Many people felt a little regretful. In the source world, Li Zhu and the others were also relieved. He didn't break 7. That was good. That was good. If he really broke 7, they would be in trouble today. Old Zhang was not angry anymore. He laughed and told Warlord and the others to get lost. He said, "You guys win. I didn't break 7. There was some helplessness in his laugh. There was an indescribable sadness in it. The fusion was successful, but he did not break 7. He could not beat him." At this time, Li Zhu and the others could not care about Warlord and the others anymore. Li Zhu vaguely felt that something was wrong. Zhang Tao, who did not break 7, was definitely no match for him. But why? There was a sense of danger. Although he didn't break 7, I realized that this kid, his Tao is a little strange. Zhang Tao was actually not anxious now. He looked puzzled and said strangely, "Does this kid not know how to use his own Tao?" That's right, he's too young. What does he know about martial arts? The origin Tao is really too complicated for him. He's read too little. It's inevitable that he can't understand it. But his is the Emperor Tao. The human race is strong. The Emperor is strong. Doesn't he understand this? Does he really think that the Emperor Tao is the feedback of origin energy? Old Zhang seemed to be puzzled and seemed to be mocking something. This kid is wasting God's gift recklessly. What a waste, what a waste. So many peerless cultivators died today. This kid has to bear the responsibility. If I walked the Emperor Tao, I would have killed those trash long ago. Why would I need to go to this step and fuse with the Tao? The Emperor. Li Zhu felt that something was wrong. Attack! Li Zhu shouted. At this time, he hesitated for a moment and suddenly became determined. At this moment, an incomparably huge cauldron flew over from the void. Thousand-world cauldron. Rumble. Once the huge cauldron arrived, it suppressed the surroundings. The 9 sage tokens joined forces and trapped the huge cauldron. However, the huge cauldron was still rampaging around, showing signs of breaking the origin world. King Sun and King Zhen's expressions changed slightly. It was really with him. Thousand-world cauldron. In the past, the Palm Seal Envoy's ultimate treasure that suppressed the 3 realms was with Li Zhu. Li Zhu, who had broken through to 7, controlled the ultimate treasure, the myriad realms cauldron. At this time, his aura was incomparably strong. His origin erupted, and with a shout, the 9 sage tokens suppressed by the huge cauldron flew in all directions. Rumble! Old Zhang's origin world seemed like it was about to be pierced. Zhang Tao, however, was not flustered. He kicked away Warlord and the others, avoiding their attacks. He smiled and said, "Let me try. This is my first time, so I'm not very familiar with it. If anyone feels that something is wrong, let me know, and I will fix it." At this time, an unexpected scene happened. On Old Zhang's path, countless branches suddenly spread out, like the branches of a tree. At this moment, Zhang Tao soared into the sky, extremely majestic. His voice was like a great bell, piercing through the origin and shaking the origin world. Human martial artists above rank 9, lend me your origin energy. As soon as he finished speaking, countless forks suddenly extended into the origin universe. From the outside, it looked like countless tentacles suddenly extended from Zhang Tao's planet towards the origin universe. Earth. Wu Quishan and the others were still inexplicably sad, but very soon everyone's expression changed again. It seemed like the emptiness from earlier was gone. Wu Quishan was about to go crazy. What was going on? Fang Ping was not dead. Yes, he was definitely not dead. Earlier, it seemed like they had lost their backbone, but now that feeling was gone. Just as Wu Quishan was thinking about this, in the origin world, a sonorous voice came. Human martial artists above rank 9, lend me your origin energy. Wu Quishan entered the origin world instantly. At this time, at the end of his path, a straw seemed to have appeared, piercing through the darkness and entering his path instantly. The next moment, Wu Quishan could not help but curse. "Are you trying to suck me to death?" This straw was sucking his origin energy madly. He could tell that the voice just now came from Zhang Tao. He could not care less about being shocked. He only knew that this guy had gone mad. He was sucking his energy madly, as if he was going to suck him dry. At this moment, his origin Tao had actually turned transparent, as if it was about to collapse. Mistake. First time, I sucked slower. In the void, Old Zhang's voice came. First time, not very familiar. Human Emperor. This was the Human Emperor. What did that kid Fang Ping know? How could that little bit of feedback be called the way of the Human Emperor? If it was really that cheap, the 9 emperors wouldn't have been able to walk this path. Only when the human race was united could a true human emperor be born. Billions of people in one body. Which era would one encounter such a thing? Since you are one, then what is yours is the human emperor's. Of course, The human emperor can borrow strength. A soft exclamation resounded in all directions. Old Zhang was puzzled. Didn't Li Changxing prove his emperor realm? Where was his source Tao? He still wanted to borrow some strength. He did not find Li Changxing's Tao. He did not find Fang Ping's Tao. But at this moment, all the reciprocity experts had been enveloped by him. Many people directly went limp on the ground. This was the first time old Zhang didn't know how to control himself. He sucked too much and nearly sucked some experts dry. In the catacombs, more than 10 clones of the God creation envoy appeared, intimidating everyone. Saint Tianmu shrunk his body and walked out of earth. His saint aura burst out. Jiao and Cat Tree both left Earth and took charge of a region. At that moment, something big had happened. Zhang Tao, this madman, had almost sucked all the human powerhouses dry in an instant. The God creation envoy who had appeared almost cursed. Madman! While cursing, he was also shocked. What was going on today? Did Fang Ping give his Taoist to Zhang Tao? At this time, he had also guessed some things, but he was still shocked by the tyranny of this Tao. Of course, he could not feel anything. Old Zhang's voice transmission only resounded through the human race's source. It was not their turn yet. Only powerhouses who recognized old Zhang and Fang Ping would be related to the human emperor's Tao. If they did not recognize it, then it was naturally unrelated. These powerhouses who were not affected walked out of the human world one after another. The 9 saints of the catacombs had also sensed something. The human rank 9 who was overseeing the outer realm had their chi dissipate in that instant, as if they had been seriously injured by someone. They did not know what had happened, but it did not stop them from investigating. Saint Chi descended one after another. However, they quickly stopped at Imperial Sea Mountain. The God creation envoy had appeared, but now there was no one to restrain this old thing. This made the 9 saints a little depressed. If Feng was still here, the human powerhouses seemed to be in trouble today. They might be able to take advantage of it, even if it did not involve the Battle of Saints. The Battle of Rank 9 might be able to kill a large number of human rank 9, directly sweep the human race out of the land. In the fake sky tomb, under old Zhang's order, the human powerhouses were sucked dry by him one after another, including some of the human race's apex who were present. At this time, they were a little weak from his sucking. The War King and the others who had just retreated from the source had all become soft-footed shrimps. The War King's expression changed drastically. Could it be like this? The key was Zhang Tao. This bastard was not reliable. Someone was coming. It was over. At this time, some of the divine sect's powerhouses sensed some changes. The chi of the War King and the others was in chaos. It seemed that there was a big problem. These people quickly flew towards the War King and the others. After killing these people, Zhang Tao was the only powerhouse left in the human race. There would be other powerhouses to deal with him. Just as the change happened, another change happened. There was a rumble. The sky fell, and the earth cracked. Zhang Tao seemed to have eaten too much again. More than half of his golden body exploded, and his origin chi erupted violently. In the blink of an eye, the 3 heavenly kings' origin chi returned, and they all vomited blood. At this time, Li Zhu held the myriad realms cauldron in his hand to resist the impact. He vomited blood and flew tens of thousands of meters backward, breaking through the void. As for King Sun and King Zhen, it was worse. Their origin chi was also overflowing. Their eyes were dim, but they could not hide the shock. What was this? In the source world just now, Zhang Tao suddenly erupted. The god-slaying saber exploded with unprecedented power. One slash caused the 3's origin chi to collapse, and they all retreated from the source world. At this time, Zhang Tao also opened his eyes. His golden body was a little broken. He cursed in a low voice. I ate too much. I can't eat too much. My golden body is actually not strong enough. There are not many powerhouses in the human race. How did I connect more than 1,000 rank 9s? More than 1,000 rank 9s were actually not considered too strong, but they were not considered weak either. The key was that there were many apex powerhouses too. The human race still had dozens of apex powerhouses here. Moreover, there were many problems the first time. He almost sucked those rank 9 martial artists dry. He did not know if anything happened to anyone. If this was a big battle, problems could easily arise. Miscalculation, miscalculation. Zhang Tao muttered to himself. He spoke very quickly. In the next second, the god-slaying saber appeared. Zhang Tao roared and broke through the air, slashing at King Sun. Time was of the essence. After all, it was borrowed power. It could not be maintained for long. It was better to kill one. It was impossible to kill Li Zhu, but he was not sure if he could kill a broken 6 heavenly king. This slash directly slashed out a golden 7-colored lotus. King Sun's expression changed drastically. His origin chi was already injured by the demon lord's sword. Just now, his origin chi was destroyed by Zhang Tao. At this time, his strength was greatly reduced. He did not expect Zhang Tao to be able to borrow external power and truly reach the stage of broken 7. Let's kill him together. King Sun roared. King Zhen and Li Zhu did not hesitate. At this time, if they dared not to help, they would really be next. The battle erupted instantly. Zhang Tao, who had broken 7, was now incomparably powerful. Even if the 3 of them joined forces, he was not afraid. King Sun and King Zhen were injured. Li Zhu used the Thousand Realms Cauldron and seemed to have some unforeseen events. At this moment, his chi was a little unstable. For a moment, the 3 powerhouses joined forces, but they were only evenly matched with Zhang Tao. As for the people from the divine religion, they originally wanted to kill the Battle King and the others. At this time, all of them ran as fast as they could. What was there to kill? Before the battle ended, they would not go. Today, accidents happened one after another. The human king died, and the martial king actually reached broken 7. Inside old Zhang's origin chi, Fang Ping was not in a hurry to recover his physical body. Now that his physical body had recovered, it was useless to go out. He would rest at old Zhang's place first. At the moment when old Zhang was fighting, Fang Ping also felt something. He curled his lips. Shameless. Borrowing power from others. Aren't you embarrassed? I won't borrow power. External powers are external powers after all. I have even given up on the human Emperor Dao. But then again, can the human Emperor Dao be used like this? Fang Ping would never admit that he did not know how to use it. Actually, he did not pay much attention to the development of the Dao's ability. He did not have the time to pay attention to it. Old Zhang, on the other hand, had studied the human Emperor Dao for many years. After integrating Fang Ping's Dao, old Zhang still walked on his own Dao. It was just that there were some transformations. His Dao was different from Fang Ping's, but it had some functions of the human Emperor Dao. At this time, Fang Ping had also refined 3 saint tokens. At this time, he kept the other 9 saint tokens. 12 saint tokens were hovering around him. Meanwhile, Fang Ping had also felt some changes. His origin was no longer overflowing. Moreover, in his senses, the source world had also completed the second transformation. Wealth, 66 billion points vitality, 1,500,000 calories, 1,900,000 calories per 1,500,000 calories, Mentality, 18,999 Hertz, 20,000 Hertz per 18,999 Hertz. Source World, 220 meters combat techniques. God-slaying saber technique, plus 9%. Combat techniques combination deduction, 1 million points / time strength control, 90% limit outburst, 186-3900 cal /207-1000 cal 12 Saint orders had helped Fong Ping complete the second coverage transformation. His wealth did not increase. The 3 Saint tokens that he snatched did not increase his wealth, which meant that he was not out of danger. Fong Ping was not surprised. He was definitely not out of danger at this time. The 3 heavenly kings were still alive. Fong Ping also did not dare to let the system's wealth reach 100 billion now. Once it reached 100 billion, there might be a big problem. Unable to condense imperishable substance, unable to condense origin chi, unable to break into other people's origin. That would be his disaster. Fong Ping did not care too much. He quickly condensed a large amount of origin chi. He did not use it himself, but threw it into old Zhang's Tao. He would let old Zhang use it, lest old Zhang's origin chi was consumed too much. At this time, Fong Ping shouted, "Brother Zhang, hold them back for a while. I'll try out my new idea. If it works, I'll kill a few heavenly kings today for fun." At this time, Fong Ping still had 2 Emperor Daos left. Of the original 4, he gave one to Shun Haotian. The other one was used up by him pretending to be dead and self-destructing. At this time, he still had 2 Emperor-level Dao left. Fong Ping was now wondering if he could use this Dao directly. If he could, the 10,000 meters of Dao would increase by 200%. His limit of more than 2 million calories would instantly become more than 6 million calories. At that time, even if his strength control dropped a little, he could still have the combat strength to break 6. Without the Saint token and Heavenly King seal, the speed of my strength improvement will slow down. 2 million calories is only Emperor level. This is not what I want. Can I succeed in replacing Dao? Fong Ping was not sure. However, young people were bold and dared to try anything. Fong Ping did not mind. At most, he would just collapse another Emperor Dao. If he succeeded, that would be awesome. Origin Dao is also borrowing strength. In the future, I'll borrow strength from Origin Dao to strengthen myself when I'm weak. When I'm strong, I can abandon Origin Dao directly. At this time, Fong Ping truly understood what the person at Enlightenment Cliff had said. Origin Dao was just an external force. What really mattered was still one's own strength. No matter how strong old Zhang's Dao is, I don't care. It's all things that I don't want. I'm just playing with the leftovers. I'll just give them to you. When that person's origin star exploded that day, Fong Ping had seen it. When Fong Ping recalled the powerhouse who created the Origin Dao today, how similar was it to himself? He had also collapsed his origin star. That person, is he dead? If he's not dead, maybe he's also walked a different Dao and combined all forces into one. Thinking of this, Fong Ping scolded again. What a useless piece of trash. You've broken 7, and you still can't beat 3 pieces of trash. You've integrated your Dao for nothing. Wait, and see how I'll kill a heavenly king later. In the outside world, old Zhang could sense everything that was happening in his origin Dao. At this moment, his face was dark. He was being mocked. He was being looked down upon. He was being looked down upon. Fong Ping, this son of a B***TCH, was talking to him like this now? Did this son of a B***TCH forget that his strength was greatly damaged and he did not even dare to recover his physical body? Living in his origin Dao, believe it or not, he would throw him out. Dao seal. At this moment, the book of Dao that old Zhang had not used for a long time appeared. like a vegetable cover, it instantly covered Li Zhu. Back then, his book of the Great Tao imprisoned many top powerhouses. Today, he wanted to imprison Li Zhu for a while and kill the two old antiques, King Sun and King Zhen. Seal. Suppress. Trap. Thunderous roars could be heard as the pages of the book of Great flipped quickly. Countless Zhang Tao walked out of the book and surrounded Li Zhu's city from all directions. Li Zhu's expression changed slightly. At this moment, his aura was shaken. Seeing this, he snorted softly and suddenly sat down cross-legged. He put away the Thousand Worlds cauldron and closed his eyes, ignoring Li Zhu. King Sun and King Zhen did not scold him. They had already sensed something was wrong with Li Zhu. Perhaps the Palm Imprint envoy was not completely dead. This fellow's Thousand Worlds cauldron had been suppressing him all these years. This time, he had used the Thousand Worlds cauldron. Perhaps there was trouble. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.